Deep in the heart of Central Florida lies a sleepy little town. A hardware store, a donut shop, and not much else. In Polk City, life moves pretty slow. But tucked beneath a freeway off-ramp, carved out of a swamp, sits a patch of water where the extraordinary becomes routine. This is Fluid. From the stillness of dawn to the roar of the crowd, it has witnessed the impossible. World records shattered, legends crowned, and hearts broken. Here, Joel Poland rewrote the laws of what's possible. World overall records falling like dominoes, the crowd erupting before he even knew he'd done it. Here, Giannina Bonneman-Meckler ran 38 off for the first time. The perfect season sealed with a smile. Here, Dorian Llewellyn fought back from the brink to topple the king. Fluid doesn't just host champions, it creates them. No sight on earth has seen more world records, more 70-meter jumps, more moments etched into water ski history. And now, it calls again. The 2025 WorldWaterSkiers Fluid Cup, where history isn't just written in ink, but carved into water.
Pass. Sweet. You guys are good to go. Well, hello folks, and welcome to the 2025 WorldWaterSkiers Fluid Cup here at beautiful Lake Gru in Polk City, Florida. Stop 3 of 4 on the WorldWaterSkiers overall tour. This stop brought to you by Dreammakers. We've already had 2 fantastic stops. Britta, you've been there dockside throughout it all. What stood out to you across the first 2 stops, and where do we sit on the leaderboard?
Well, the first stop we had in Canada, beautiful sight and a very close race, which was really fun to watch. Second stop was Austria, was also very, very good event. What we saw here, what was really exciting is that the leaderboard between Kennedy and Giannina is super close. There's literally only, I think, 10 points between the two of them. So whoever wins today obviously wins the tour, I would say, right?
I think it's going to come down to the final, whatever happens between those two, but whoever wins today is going to be in that box seat, that pole position for sure.
Yeah, right. And then in the men's, well, Joel's dominating for sure, but then again, yesterday the boys showed that they're on his tail.
Absolutely. We have to talk about the prelim round. I think that was the tightest competition to make a final we've ever seen on the tour. We had, 4 or 5 guys vying for that last spot in the final, and between 4th place and 7th place there was only 14 overall points. That's equivalent to about a boy in slalom, maybe a toe back-to-back. Emerging out of that battle, we saw Tobias Georges and Alex Gashiel join the top 3 of Dorian, Louis, and Joel in the final, and Eduardo Morenzi and Rob Hazelwood missed out by fractions of a point. Incredible skiing, Britta.
It was so fun to watch. Such a close race, and I'm obviously being Austrian, very excited for Alexander to make the finals here. It's his first one, so he's very excited, and I'm excited for my countrymen.
And we've got to talk about the women's as well, because, we've seen Giannina and Kenna battle it in week out, but we got a real wild card coming in this weekend. We've got former world record holder, many time world overall champion, Regina Jacquis. It's like bringing the old gladiator out of retirement. She wasn't actually planning to ski this tournament, but she rocked up in the prelims, took the second top seed, and had the leading jump score, despite it being her first jump set since the World Championships.
I know, for sure. And I mean, Regina has to be counted in this battle, that's for sure. I mean, she is the most experienced of all of them, and she knows the site, and she probably doesn't need all this training that the other girls have had to really do well here. I mean, she's so experienced, she can do it.
Absolutely. Conditions beautiful today. The sun is shining. There's almost no wind to speak of. We are in for an absolutely cracking overall finals. We'll start with the slalom event up first, and we'll be back underway in just a couple minutes.
What a pleasure to be here on the beach with Pierre Plouffe, the legend here at Tremblant. Pierre, good to see you.
Hi, LA.
Tell me about your business. It's been here for a while.
We've been here for just about 25 years. We have activities for all tastes, all prices. Yes, we're waiting for you guys.
Thanks.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure million-dollar mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dillinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
For over 20 years, Houston has been setting the standard of automotive excellence. Hi, I'm Dave Houston. I'd like to welcome you to the Houston family. We are committed to offering exceptional Cadillac models like the all-new electric Lyriq, redesigned XT4, and the legendary Escalade. At Houston, our personalized service and friendly staff will exceed your expectations. Feel the thrill of buying a new Cadillac from Houston Cadillac.
What a pleasure to be here on the beach with Pierre Plouffe, the legend here at Tremblant. Pierre, good to see you.
Hi, LA.
Tell me about your business. It's been here for a while.
We've been here for just about 25 years. We have activities for all tastes, all prices, and I can show you right now in the water.
Let's go. Yeah, this has to be the perfect spot for all water sports.
Well, we're trying to have all sort of activities on the water, starting with the non-motorized pedal boat, canoes, and kayaks, and the very popular lately, the paddle board.
Yes.
We also have the sailing. We have some sailing. We have some sailing boats. We have the day camp for kids. We have fishing boats, runabout, and very popular pontoons, which you can go in the water with families and friends. We have a day camp for kids, which includes water skiing in the morning, surfing and wakeboarding, and some fun boards behind the pontoon at lunchtime. We also have a floating mountain, which we call the iceberg. Actually, it's so popular that we had to buy a smaller one for little kids that wanted to go up on one side and slide on the other side.
And the lake is always perfect for water skiing early in the morning, as I know you're the world champion, you train here.
Yeah, I train every day here, and it's fun to have people training with me in the morning. Some adults training every day, and some kids also are training now.
Well, the perfect spot. We invite everybody to come and check it out.
Yes, we're waiting for you guys.
Thanks.
Well, hello and welcome everyone. Pleasure to be joining you here at the 2025 WorldWaterSkiers Fluid Cup. We have 9 of the best 3-event water skiers in the world competing it out in the finals. It's a pretty rapid fire format. We'll have all the women, all the men will slalom, they'll all trick, and they will all jump. We take the combined scores across all 3 events to crown your champion. And we will be starting off with the women's field, and I'm very excited to be joined in the announcing booth with a legend of the sport. It's none other than Karen Truelove. Yeah, absolutely, and obviously it's a pretty strong field. We look down this list on the women's side. We kick things off, first time ever on tour, as far as I recall, is young Alia Jung Hanifer of Malaysia. She didn't have a great day in qualifying yesterday, but she has the scores across all 3 events to challenge all of these top skiers. In the top 3, the final 3, this is going to be an epic showdown. Janina Bonneman-Meckler, Regina Jacques, and Kennedy Hansen, and I could not pick who's going to win out of those 3. You know, it's really just going to be who stands up on the day. They certainly all have the scores to win.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what overall is all about. You know, your strengths and weaknesses kind of come into play. And I think when you mention all those names, like, you start kind of looking at, you know, obviously Regina is so strong in jump. With Aaliyah, I was on the boat yesterday judging, saw a lot of, you know, great potential in her. Yeah, I think it's just going to be whoever puts the right combination together.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, each of these skiers will have their different strengths and weaknesses across the 3 events. You know, we sort of know Regina is going to out-slalom, or she should out-slalom most of these girls, but a lot of them are probably a little bit above her in tricks. So it's important going in early that someone like a Regina stands up and builds a buffer so that she can sort of afford to be back a little bit in the trick event. Likewise, you know, for someone like an Aaliyah, you know, her personal best, I think, is probably somewhere mid 11 meters, 38 off. Now, if she goes out there and runs into 11, 38 off, she's kept herself in the race. You know, she's not gonna get the score at 41 that, you know, Regina potentially could. But if she can stay within a pass or two, because she's such a strong trick skier, such a strong jumper, that keeps her in this overall race. So each skier needs to play to their strengths out here on the water. And one thing I know they're all going to be excited about is the conditions, because yesterday it was challenging. It was cold, it was overcast, it was a strong, gusty cross breeze. And looking at it right now, it's absolutely glass calm. Must make you almost wish you were out there, Karen.
I know, absolutely. We've been battling some elements the last couple of days, so this is like a new climate. I think, like you said, everybody's going to be excited to get out there and see what they can do today, because it's a whole new day today.
Yeah, that's right. And Aaliyah, she will kick things off for us, making her first appearance on tour in 2025. Didn't have the best day in qualifying. She still snuck through the final, but she left a lot of points on the water in the tricks event particularly. I think she would have been a bit disappointed she wasn't able to run 35 off yesterday. She got a strong start, but like we said, the conditions were much more challenging yesterday. We'd love to see her push through some passes and find her way into 11 meters today, kind of set the tone. I always feel like it's amazing how much of an impact the first skier can have on a field. And when the first skier in a pro event goes out and skis really well, you often see the level of everyone around them lift. But if the first skier or the first couple skiers go out and they fall early, say, it kind of creates this, I don't know if it's a nervous environment. You've probably been in that situation a lot, Karen, but it almost seems like the first couple skiers can really set the tone for the rest of the event.
Yeah, it really can. You know, you go out there and you're, you know, second, third, or down the list off the dock, and you notice the first couple of skiers going out and skiing better than they have the, you know, days before. You know, you really know that, hey, things are coming together and the conditions are better, and you better go out there and give it all you got, because, you know, you're in the finals. This is the round that counts. I think that's what we're going to see today.
Okay, just getting confirmation. We'll get underway. It will be a 14 meter or 28 off start for Ali. And so cool to see Alia here at an overall tour stop. I've been watching Alia ski for, I mean, almost as long as she's been alive. I remember showing up to some tournaments, you know, in New Zealand. We tend to have a little bit more crossover with some of the events of the Asian competitors. We used to have combined championships, and I can recall watching her go out and compete in the tricks event at about 9 or 10 years of age. And, you know, she's been a really promising talent for a super long time. Initially in the tricks event, but in the last couple of years, she's really blossomed at the jump event as well. She made the world jump final. She picked up a medal at the last Antoine World Champs in jump. And then earlier this year, we'll talk about it a bit more, because she set some pretty big water ski history. Right now, though, she's just going to make her way through 28 off 14 meters. A shorter than normal start for Alia. She typically starts at 16 meters, so hopefully she can handle this well. Really easy stuff. What I would imagine the difference is starting at 14 versus 16 for her is not this first pass. I don't think 14 is a pass she struggles with. It's that she's going to be at 13 and 12 a little quicker than usual. It's not necessarily the first pass that it gets difficult, but I think when you're asked to raise your start length or speed, it's often those second or third passes that are more challenging.
Definitely. it's sometimes you get in and you know, you kind of want those first couple of passes just to feel out the two different ends, especially today we don't really have the wind. But yeah, if she's not used to starting at 28, she's going to kind of be in it, so to speak, much faster, like you said. So sometimes that can play, you know, to your advantage, though. It's like you don't really have as much time to kind of think about things, and you're just, you know, you're just kind of out there skiing, which sometimes is the absolute best thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the weaker of Alia's 3 events, I think, without a doubt. So for her, it's just about staying in the fight here in slalom. She knows she's probably not going to match the scores of the other 3 girls, but if she can stay within half a pass of the likes of Kenna and Janina, probably more than half a pass or a pass than Regina. We know what Regina's capable of, but that keeps her in the fight. But she'll be coming back now at 13 meters, 32 off. But know that the piece of water ski history that she set, which I think is pretty significant as we watch her come through this pass, is at the University World Championships in Auckland, New Zealand earlier this year, she became the first Asian water skier to win a World Championships. She did it not once, Karen, but 3 times. She won trick, jump, and overall at the same event. So went from 0 World Championships for Asia to 3 in the space of a weekend. Cruised through that 13-meter pass. No worries at all, but pretty significant moment in water ski history. You know, I obviously we've seen a lot of very strong skiers come out of Asia. I think it's really grown as a region over the past, you know, few decades, but pretty significant to take home those titles earlier this year.
Yeah, obviously, you know, a region of, you know, a lot of growth potential there. That would be amazing for our sport. And gosh, I mean, I didn't realize that. So that's a very interesting piece of something to be proud of. And, you know, she's going to be an inspiration for so many young and upcoming Asians to come.
Yeah, it really is. I had the pleasure, it's a long story why I was there, but I had the pleasure of attending the Asian Water Ski Championships this summer in Thailand. And I mean, she's a bit of a rock star among that Asian water ski crowd. I mean, they're so proud of her and her achievements. And you're absolutely right. She's an inspiration. Because I think, you know, seeing somebody go out and achieve those things, it gives you something to look up to aspire to. And I think the bar has well and truly been raised in Asian water skiing, largely thanks to the achievements of this young lady. She's coming back into course now, 12 meters, 35 off. This is the pass she struggled with yesterday. Conditions a lot better, though, as she comes around 1 ball. It's an okay start on 1. She hits from 2 across to 3. She's going to need a big turn here on 3 ball. I think she's got it. She's looking pretty good here from 4 into 5, drifting down course, but she's going to fight hard for 6. She just got a little bit later and later there. Disappointed she couldn't run that pass.
Yeah, I mean, she was there. I mean, I know that frustration. I was actually in that spot earlier today. But yeah, I thought the gate was pretty good. Maybe just a touch, kind of a little bit down course, a little straight at 1, but she was managing it well. You know, down there at that end, it can kind of open up a little bit if there's just a touch of wind. But yeah, I thought we were going to see her get into the 11 meters.
It's a shame. It's one of those scores that's tough, particularly in an overall time competition where every point matters. You know, in a slalom competition, in between 5 at a pass and 2 at the next pass might be 1 or 2 people. But because every boy is weighted equally, you know, she gets that 6, and at 11, she's probably going to get 2, even if she has a bad start, right? So it's a 3-boy swing because of that fall. It's not like she could have hung on and got 1 more. It's cost her quite a bit, half a pass probably.
Yeah, that's a valid point that all these overall skiers know, and I know that's her frustration right now as we're seeing her walk out of the water. Again, like you said, kind of the beauty of overall, you know, it's so much of it is really about kind of strategy of doing what you can do in your event and try to manage, you know, as the day goes on.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously, most people, water ski fans following along, will know you primarily as a slalom skier, but I know in your younger days, when coming up through the ranks, you did pretty well in some overall events yourself, Karen?
I did end up winning, I guess my claim to fame in overall is I did grab one of those US Open overall titles back in the day. So definitely slalom was always more natural for me, and my second was jump. You know, I got a little help from a guy that we kind of know around.
Some okay coaching through the years,
and kind of drug tricks, but.
So one thing I'm interested in is, you know, you've obviously spent a lot of time at pro slalom events. Maybe less, it's been a while, but you spent a fair amount of time competing in overall events back in the day. How does it change your mindset coming into a slalom pass? Do you ski a little bit more defensively when it's overall, because it's every point matters, whereas in a slalom event maybe you're, if you're not going to run the pass, what's the point, right? Is it a different mindset at all?
I think it is, because there's almost like two things at play. You've got your slalom just for slalom performance, but then you're also thinking, every quarter buoy counts, just like you were pointing out there with the Leo, like, one more turn, and we were talking about a couple more buoys.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Giannina Bonneman-Meckler opening up 14 meters, 28 off, and chasing her first pro victory of the season. She's found herself in unfamiliar territory as Giannina. In 2023, she went undefeated. She won all 4 stops, was on top of the world, won, of course, the season championship. 2024 had a season off for the birth of her first child, young Luca, who's running around on site, hopefully supervised, maybe not. And she's back here in 2025, and certainly the scores and the performances have been there. We've seen her at various events trick up over 10,000 points. We've seen her run, maybe not fully through 38 off 11 meters, but at least midway or deep down it. And we've seen those jump scores up over 50 meters, up in the sort of 170s. But I feel like she's yet to string all 3 of those performances together in a single round at a single tournament. She's finished second at the first 2 stops, second in Canada and second in Austria, chasing her first win of the season. Did not have a very good day yesterday, but she'll set the tone here in the slalom event. And this is a site that she's had a lot of fun with in the past. The last Tour finals here in 2023, she ran 38 off for the very first time at this event. So conditions perfect. I'm sure she'll have that in the back of her mind. First up, though, she's going to have some more warm-up passes. That was 14 meters. This will be 13 next up.
Yeah, I think anytime, obviously just having a kid really changes your time management, and mixing that with being an overall skier is very challenging. I've been really impressed just knowing Giannina, the little bit that I do know her. I'm sure she had a plan along the way, and when you have kids, things certainly don't go to plan, but I've been really impressed with her, what I've been seeing these last month or so. I agree with you. I think we're going to see big things to come.
Absolutely. This is 13 meters, 32 off from Giannina. No trouble at all. Maybe a slight bobble early on in that pass, but probably more of a nerve settling type thing. And one thing I find very impressive about Giannina is she's not a very tall competitor. I'd love to know who the shortest skier is to run 11 meters, 38 off. I think she'd have to be in the mix.
Yeah, I would think she would be.
Yeah. I was talking.
Says she's 5'2".
Yeah, well, she might be rounding up with that. I don't know. There could be some generous measuring on her part.
That would be the shortest I can think of. So, something to be proud of. Yeah.
I was chatting with Erica Lang, and she mentioned that she'd run it a couple times in practice. I'm not sure she's done it in a tournament yet, so she'd be similar height, maybe slightly shorter, but there wouldn't be. It's pretty impressive. But then the thing that I guess colors it is, Regina's not very tall. She's taller than that, but Regina's maybe, 5'4"? She's not a...
Yeah, I think Regina and I are similar.
Yeah, so it's incredible, really, when you think about it. We spent a lot of time talking about Giannina's husband, Dane, who's an incredible slalom skier for his height. Guys like Joel Poland, even Marcus Brown, Terry Winter, but I don't think some of the women slalomers get enough credits for the short line they're getting to at their heights. This is 12 meters, a pass Giannina's pretty consistent for, but it is where things start to get a little bit more challenging. She comes around 1. Good start, good hookup. Nice tight line out of 2 into 3 ball. The German in her comeback season looking to claim her first Tour title of the year. And so far, so good. Makes her way through 12 meters, 35 off. Pretty tidy stuff. We're excited for this next pass, Karen.
She looks like she's on a good rhythm. That was a nice looking pass. I think looks like she's kind of getting the starts settled. She's had 2 looks now from both ends, and that looked good.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think that's something that, when we have those conversations, as people often do, around how impressive some of these shorter, and shorts are, I don't think short's a fair word to apply to someone like a Dane Meckler. I think he's pretty normal height across the general population. Just on a slalom start dock, he looks a little shorter than normal. But I think if you look at the achievements of particularly Regina, but a lot of the women's field, right? People running through 39 at sub 5'6". It's incredible to me. It blows my mind.
And I'll say just from experience, I mean, having those extra inches, it does make a big difference. I've kind of, for some reason or another, ended up on a longer rope, and I was really sad to find that out, but it was not very much.
Okay, this is crunch pass for Giannina, and like we talked about, the dynamic and overall is such that every single buoy she gets here is critical. You know, if she can find herself deep down this pass, it sets a really good marker for the rest of the field to chase. She comes around 1. Not a great start on 1. She's in a bit of trouble here. She's behind the 8 ball, but it's a good 2 ball. She's making up ground as Giannina. She's slow out of 3, but she'll keep going. She's around 4. She's scrapping. She's fighting. She throws herself outside 5. Judges call, but that looked like a full 5 to me. I think that's a really good score from Giannina.
Yeah, that's going to really set her up well.
So we're getting confirmation. We've got 5 at 11, an early marker to beat. Great skiing from Giannina. And I think we may be getting ready for our first trip dockside.
It was actually really nice. I mean, it's the nicest day of the week, I think, today. And I honestly skied pretty good. Like, I was almost locked in on that 12. I got a half-board PB, though, from 4.5 to now 5 at 12, so I'm happy.
You can never complain about the PBs. Compared to yesterday, what were the field differences? Obviously, it was a little bit tricky out there. What was the big differences out there today?
For me, definitely the wind. Like, I was struggling a lot with the wind at Slalom because it was cross, so you had to, like, maneuver, was it 2, 4, 6? It was, you're getting pushed out there, and then 1 through 5, you have to, like, I don't know, edge longer or whatever. But yeah, that was the biggest difference, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely a challenge out there. Congrats on the first start. You've got tricks and jump to go. Are you excited for that? What are you kind of feeling? Tricks didn't go the best for you yesterday. What's the plan to bounce back?
So I was basically rushing my trick because I messed up on the first one. And I was like, okay, I have to go now. But then I just have to take my time. Definitely just, set up 2 passes, tricks, and I'm happy. And then jump, hopefully, over 160.
That's what we like to hear. All right, back to you, Curtis.
Oh, well, that shows that I'm maybe too much of a fan of Alia. I'm overhyping. That was a personal best from her, so great skiing. We have Regina Jacquis now on the water, 13 meters, 32 off to start from her. And cannot wait to see what she is able to pull out. And, she's had, I think this might be her 4th slalom set of the weekend. She's entered in the regular tournament, skied 3 rounds in open women's, and, of course, skied in the overall event as well. So fatigue starting to set in, but, and unfortunately, because we're on round 4 or 5, if something big were to happen, we can't actually set any official records, but that's okay. I mean, she's out here skiing in the pro event. Super excited, but it just shows that was a personal best from Alia. Very, very, very impressive.
You good? Here with Giannina, congratulations. Tell me how it felt. Tell me what just happened.
It felt amazing. I mean, the conditions are really good today. I mean, it's almost a sheet of glass out there. There's a little bit of wind here and there, but I mean, it feels absolutely amazing. And I had a pretty good start on like my 28:32. It felt it out. I felt great, and then I was just hoping for the best, and I tried to turn 1 buoy at a time, not get ahead of myself. And 5 is amazing for me.
And you just said postpartum PB. What does that mean? Obviously, a lot of mums there. So I'm getting told to wrap up, but congratulations, and we're coming with pass 2.
Okay, and on the water we have Regina returning. This is now 12 meters, 35 off for the world record holder. And a pass that's difficult for most of us mere mortals, but she makes it look like a stroll in the park. Regina just continues almost to get better and better with each year. It's incredible. I know it's probably rude to comment on a woman's age, but I believe she's 40 now. And she probably hasn't had her best weekend on the slalom ski across the first few rounds. Got herself midway through 39 in the qualifying round at 10.75. She would love to run that pass, though, and set a really big early lead. Conditions, the best she skied all weekend. We feeling a big score coming on here, Karen?
I do, because I mean she's very familiar with the site. Skis here very frequently. I believe when she skied Friday, she got through it, and that was challenging conditions. So there's no question. I mean, we've all seen her get through 39 in all kinds of conditions. So I don't really expect anything less than that. And you know, like we were talking about earlier with the strategy of overall, this is where she's going to want to try and build some space between her and the other girls.
Yeah, it really takes the pressure off her tricking later on. And I mean, we talked about this early skiers going out setting the tone. We've had a personal best from Alia. We've had a post-motherhood personal best from Giannina. So the stars are aligning. It shows you just how good conditions are out there. This is Regina returning now. 11 meters, 38 off. And so far, so good. She is early and on time as she heads across to 4 ball. You couldn't be much earlier from 5 across to 6. She backsided 5. What a beautiful 11-meter pass, making it look pedestrian out there.
Yeah, what I love about Regina skiing is it's like she kind of sets a pace, you know, like she has this rhythm that she skis with, and she kind of can move around all over the ski. Like I think it was 3 ball there. Maybe she was back and kind of saw the tip come up, but the pace and her up course, down course, you know, it tends to stay the same. Like she stays up course. You know, it's quite an art that she has.
Yeah, incredible skier. Slalom has been the cornerstone of her success. Of course, many-time world slalom champion, has the world slalom record, but you know, the accolades and overall are right there as well. I asked her once how many world overall titles she had, and she couldn't actually remember. So that to me says it must be quite a few, but I think it's maybe 4 or 5 world overall titles. It's something incredible. We'll have to check that. A former world overall record holder, I believe. So, you know, Regina is an absolutely incredible 3-event skier. I mean, sort of, maybe somewhat tragically, the majority of her career has aligned with a period of almost 20 years where there were no professional overall tournaments. So I think she came of age kind of in that early 2000s where maybe the Masters or the US Open still had overall. And she might have even won like a US Open overall title as a 17-year-old or something crazy. But now back at the tail end of her career, competing in overall once again. And this is the crunch pass, 10.75, 39.5 off. Can she make her way through it? It's a pretty good start on 1. She hooks up well as she hits now across to 3 ball. Regina, she's getting through 10.75. She's around 4 now. She's fighting hard. She'll get herself around 5. She's going to be early for 6. And what a great pass. Regina Jacquis is putting some distance between herself and the rest of the field, running 10.75.
Yeah, that was a great pass. I mean, I feel like that was a little different than some of the ones I would call a little bit of her better 39s. But, you know, she's human. I think probably after missing, I think she's following it. She fell at 4 like the last couple of rounds. I felt like I saw a
little safety turn, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of defensiveness there, kind of letting it come around, which is, I mean, how do you even do that at 39? You know, it's crazy. But, you know, she just knows that pass so well that she can run it with different techniques, really. Like, it's
Yeah, I think that's the mark of when somebody truly has mastered a skill, is they can go out there and they can run the pass without it being perfect. I would imagine for most people, the first time they run a pass, this has certainly been my experience at much longer line lengths, but to run a pass for the first time, you almost have to do it perfectly, right? And then once you've done it a number of times, and I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to count the number of times Regina's run 39 at this point, but she has sort of mastered that pass where she doesn't need a perfect start. She can get away with the odd safety turn and still run the pass.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting. I think we heard recently how many Nate Smith did. Had a
it's over 200, right?
Yeah.
It's huge.
She would be beyond that, which is,
I would have to assume, yeah.
For 39.
Okay, so Regina Jacquis coming in at 10.25, 41 off. Every boy she gets here will just extend that lead out of slalom, chasing her first professional overall title in over 20 years. She comes now around 1. Not a great start on 1, but she'll get herself outside of 2. And 2 at 10.25, 41. She's disappointed. She's trying to break a world record every time she leaves the dock as Regina. That's what I love about her. She's kind of got no sort of lower gear. It's all or nothing from her. And so even with a great score like that, 2 at 41, she's feeling like, I just left a little bit out there.
Yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty good one. I mean, screen got a little dark there, but I thought that was a pretty good one. I think that might be why we saw her kind of throw her head back, because I think she thought she could have got a little bit farther down the course on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge, right? She's got a pass and a half lead on, no, more than that, is it? A pass and a half, that's right. Pass and a half lead on Giannina, Bonham, and Meckler. You know, Kennedy Hansen, I think, has a personal best of maybe 3 at 10.75.39, so she can get within sort of a pass. Now, of course, Giannina and Kenna, they're better trickers than Regina, and they will expect to come out of tricks with a lead. But the key thing for Regina is, because she's built this huge lead in slalom, she's taken a lot of pressure off. She can now go out. If she goes out in tricks, you know, 7,500 points, because she's such a strong jumper as well, she is very much in this race. And I just love it. The wild card coming in. This is her first appearance on the tour. She did not intend to do this. There were some rumors floating around that maybe she had retired from overall after the World Champs. I think Jack Critchley had some handshake deals done to sell her trick skis for bear money. He had to quickly go and end those deals and find the trick skis. She couldn't find them yesterday morning, so Jack managed to make them appear out of thin air for her, but great to see her back competing and frankly, at this stage, dominating.
Yeah, maybe a little time off is going to go her way. That was great. But, you know, and all that's kind of what I expected, for her to be right in that, you know, at least 1 or 2 at 41, if not more.
We knew she was going to come out of slalom with the lead. That was pretty much a given. How big that lead is will sort of take the pressure off and keep her in the hunt, because she's not going to match, you wouldn't expect she's going to match Kenna and Giannina in tricks. She certainly can in jump. She hasn't done a whole bunch of practice last month, but on form in 2025, she is the best jumper in this field. So she certainly has some distance to reclaim and jump, but building that buffer out of slalom is huge. And we move right along now to Kennedy Hansen. She'll be opening up 14 meters, 28 off, currently leading the World Water Skiers overall tour. Not by a lot, though, only 10 points separating her and Giannina, Bonham, and Meckler. She won the first stop of the year in Canada. She finished down in 3rd. She would have been a bit disappointed with that in Austria. It's up here, 14.28 off. It's been a good season for her, sort of a breakout season. I think that was her first professional victory, that win in Canada. She got a silver at the World Championships in overall. Could have easily been a gold. That was a pretty tight contested race between her and Hannah. Under 21 world record holder, set I think last year or the year before. She's sort of just aging out of that, but she has announced herself on the circuit as the next big thing in women's overall.
Yeah, when I didn't make go to the Worlds this time, but when I was watching, I was really impressed with her skiing. You could tell she had a lot of preparation and a lot came together for the Worlds. She was definitely on point, and
I could have this wrong, but I think she set a personal best in the world in both slalom and jump. So talk about turning it on under pressure, right? She's a big match player, and I love that energy. The young skiers will often have that, right? They're sort of improving in leaps and bounds, and they feed off the energy, and they just find that next gear. So she's got a proven track record of pulling out big performances when the pressure's on.
Yeah, I would say she's almost been a little bit of a understated, skier in the overall. And like you said, it's been a breakout year for her. And, I think she's just out there saying, hey, hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, you just think of, it's hard to say what her weak event is right now. I mean, certainly you'd have to argue tricks is her strongest. She tricked over 10,000 points earlier this year, so that puts her in pretty elite company. But with it, jump scores up in the low 50s, so around 170 feet or so now. Slalom scores midway through 11 meters, 39. I mean, there's not really a weakness from Kennedy. This now will be 13 meters, 32 off for the American, looking to claim her second tour victory of the year and move herself firmly in the lead on the tour standings. And so far, so good. As clean as you'd like, that 13-meter pass. A little bit of a breeze picking up. The jumpers will be excited about that. We'll see if it holds. Still doesn't really get much better than that for slaloming.
No, that was a really tighty pass, really tight on the buoys and tight line. Just looked like she was just, out there just feeling it out and just going to ramp it up a little bit as we shorten this rope. But yeah, those are I think that was kind of of course, Regina, had a beautiful second pass, but I feel like that's the tidiest, second pass we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Ski Fluid turning on the conditions once again. I was a little nervous yesterday. It's been it sounds like the whole last week it's been a little bit inconsistent with the weather. It's been a little bit cooler, a little bit overcast, some rain, definitely some breeze around. I know some folks have struggled getting the water time they would have liked in the build-up, but here for the finals this afternoon, it's turned it on. It doesn't really get any better than it is right now.
Yeah, I think everybody, from what I was hearing, kind of me and my family trying to get our sets in, we were earlier and later in the day, because during the middle of the day, it was just the wind was up so much.
Okay, this is now 12 meters 35 off for Kennedy Hansen. Pass you'd expect her to make easy work of, but once you start getting down to these shorter lines, a little mistake can cost you. So far, so good, though, as she heads from 4 across to 5. The young American getting it done, full pass at 12 meters. One of the things that I find really impressive about some of the younger skiers in the field, so Alia and Kennedy, and then I think Alex Gashiel on the men's side, is that we are deep in the heart of collegiate skiing. And so they're doing some chopping and changing at boat speeds. We'll talk about that more in jump, but it sounds like we have got another skier lined up dockside.
Okay, we're here with Regina. Absolutely fantastic skiing. How did it feel out there?
No, it felt really nice. I felt so nice that I'm kind of upset that I just got 2 at 41. It was such a great start. But no, really, really happy with that, and buoy off of my best of the season, so I can't complain with that. But felt great, and can't wait to see what the guys do for the next part of this.
And how many sets has that been pre this weekend, post Traverse Grand Prix?
Well, 3 from the yesterday and then 2 from that. So work life and water ski life, hard to balance and juggle, but you try to manage it the best you can and enjoy when you can be out here and get the ski rides. And that's awesome with that Red Bull event to be able to bring us all out here together for the overall.
On 0 sets in the week, that's very impressive. Back to Kenna, let's see if she can get through the 38.
Crunch pass now. Kennedy Hansen returns to course, 11 meters 38 off, a pass she has run. But she's certainly, I'd say she's batting at about 50% on this pass these days. She's seen Janina get 5. She's seen Regina throw down a big score. Good start here from Kennedy. Looking the good. She heads across to 3 ball. She's doing very well here as Kennedy Hansen, 11 meters. She heads now across to 5. She's going to run the 11 meters. Kennedy Hansen, she is here to, oh no, what's happened? Inexplicable, that didn't need to happen at all. She's botched 6 ball. She's going to end up with 5.5. She was all over that pass. Oh, and she's filthy. Have you ever seen anything like that before, Karen?
I mean, I'm sure somewhere along the way, but she has to be so gutted about that, because I was just, that whole pass, I was just watching every turn was just up course, clean, looking at how great her offside is looking at 35 and 38. I don't know what happened. That's just one of those unexplainable, frustrating. That's tough. It'd be interesting to watch the replay here to see.
I mean, like you said, start of this pass, excellent. I mean, you can't really fault anything.
No.
Bizarre, isn't it?
Bizarre, exactly. I mean, if she tried, she would never. That would probably never happen again.
Yeah, and that's tough. We talked about this a little bit with Alia. The difference between that last half a buoy, it's not half a buoy, because if she came back at 10.75, I mean, probably worst case, she's getting a 1. She's probably getting a 2.
Probably getting a 2, being the lefty, and she's her onside, is looking good. So yeah, I would call her.
So yeah, that's a
candidate for 2.
2.5 buoy swing. It would have got her within a course of Regina versus that pass and a half. But moving right along, we're now into the men's field, and we have Alex Gashiel, who scraped into the men's final by a boarding house scrape of butter. It was about a singular overall point separating him and Eduardo Morenzi, and about the same for Rob Hazelwood, who also narrowly missed out. But he had a geez, he had a great day yesterday at Alex Kashiel, one of the youngest skiers in the field, another sort of collegiate skier in the ranks. Came out yesterday in pretty tricky, windy, gusty conditions and had the top slalom score. To put that in context, he had the top slalom score in a field that included Joel Poland and Rob Hazelwood, right? So it wasn't like he was up against some slouches. He was up against some Water Ski Pro Tour slalom regulars. And Alex Kashiel, in some tricky conditions, he stood up. He backed it up with a really strong trick performance right near his personal best and jumps the weaker of his 3 events, but he did just enough to stay in the hunt. So here's Alex in his first tour finals of the season, well deserved. But what a battle that was yesterday, and I've been super impressed with this young man skiing.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with him as I am some of the other skiers, so this will kind of be a treat to see. I did see him jump yesterday. But I didn't even realize that you said he had the highest slalom?
Yeah, him and Dorian, I suppose, tied.
Okay.
So it was a joint highest. It sounds a better story if you say he had the highest. But to come out of slalom in a field that included Rob Hazelwood and Joel Poland have the top slalom score, incredible. And that really was the foundation. You know, in the trick event yesterday, we had a lot of sort of weird upset falls. No one necessarily bombed out super early in their run, but a lot of people were maybe 1,000, 2,000 points back from where they would have liked to be. But Alex stood up. You know, he stood up both passes effectively, and he was within 100 or 200 points of his personal best. And again, like we said, he's a little bit weaker in the jump event. The other thing a lot of the collegiate skiers are dealing with right now, I started talking about earlier, is they're right in the middle of their season. So they had the regional champs last weekend. This next week, in a few days, the national champs are starting as we watch Alex return at 12 meters. So they've been jumping down at college settings. Most of their training has been at 51K, 32 miles an hour, 5 foot. And then they've come out here and they've jumped at pro settings. And so I think that's been a real adjustment. We saw, I think, Alex, Kenna, and Alia struggle a little bit yesterday in the jump event. They'll be better today because of it. But Alex Kashiel, he's through 13, he's through 12, and now we'll start to get into the more difficult passes. And it looks like we have got Rob Hazelwood standing by with a frustrated Kennedy Hansen.
Kenna, that's got to be pretty heartbreaking. You absolutely were stroking that 38. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, the pass felt amazing. It all happened too fast to really know what went wrong, but I guess that happens. Got to go for a lot of points and some big jumps today.
The greatest thing about overall is there's 2 more events. What kind of mindset does this put on? What are you going to kind of be thinking about right now to get your mind sorted for the next couple of sets?
Just use it for motivation and just give it my all in tricks and jump. That's all you can do. You can't really focus too much on slalom and what just happened out there. You just got to keep going.
I love it. It takes a strong mind to be good at overall, and you're getting a great start. Let's see what we can do for the rest of the day.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.
Okay, 11 meters, 38 off, coming up for Alex Kashiel, who slalomed so well yesterday to make his way through to these finals. Can he repeat that magic here? Comes back. The real short line skiing, he is making it look pretty easy so far, you'd have to say. The Austrian, little bit of a break at 5, but boy, the start of that pass was textbook. Great skiing, Alex Kashiel, through another 11-meter pass.
Yeah, I saw he got a little bit kind of sucked up the rope a little bit there at 2. And then I think that by the time he got down to 5, we saw that break kind of caught up with him. But, good start.
He's through the pass, that's what matters. Yesterday he picked up 3. I don't know what his personal best is, but that wouldn't be far off it. It would have to be somewhere around there. And to do that yesterday when the conditions were tricky, I mean, it was a pretty strong, gusty, swirly crosswind. It was tough to pick, right? You didn't know which way it was going to be blowing you, particularly down at that western end where the lake opens up. I think it was pretty bumpy. The gate setup from that side was tricky, I think is an understatement. Today, though, there should be no such problems. It's looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, this should be a little bit friendlier setup, but, just speaking to kind of what you mentioned about them dealing with the collegiate skiing at the same time just kind of shows how versatile all these overall skiers are, how talented they are just as, as athletes.
Yeah, and, obviously slalom stays the same in collegiate, but even in tricks, a lot of them will practice trick runs with more than 6 flips, right, for collegiate skiing. So there's the change there as well. It's probably a different sequence that some of them might have been training recently. I'm sure Alex is a big part of, he's probably skiing all 3 events for Lafayette. He's such a strong overall skier. He comes back into course now, 10.75, 39.5 off. Crunch pass here for the Austrian. He picked up 3 yesterday. Can he find his way deep down this pass? He turns, cuts through the gates. Big turn on one ball. He gets pretty low, but he's holding strong position. He gets himself outside 3. He's going to turn 3. He's going to push for 4. No, he slips just inside 4. I thought he had the turn. It's got to be right up around personal best territory. Another frustrated skier, although I don't think he's frustrated because he skied poorly. He's just frustrated because the big score was right there in front of him.
I think he felt like he could have gone a little bit farther down that pass. I feel like into 1, I saw a little bit of a separation in the ski, kind of change. He kind of changed edges a little quicker than he probably wanted to, and then then I feel like saw it again, but more intense coming into 3, and then that ski just kind of bit coming out of here. Tip comes up, and then on the tail. But that's still
it's a great score.
Kind of right in his.
Absolutely, it's what he got yesterday. Keeps him right in the hunt. And look, I think he's probably just over the moon to have made this final. I mean, the talent he had to fend off, guys like Eduardo Morenzi, Rob Hazelwood, Jake Abelson, all left on the outside looking in. That was one of the most competitive prelim rounds to make the final we've seen on tour. And Alex Shield really stood up, you'd have to say.
Yeah, that's a great experience for, him kind of getting started with his pro career, if you will, with the
absolutely
no lack of talent.
So moving right along, another skier who emerged narrowly out of the wreckage that was the prelim round is the Argentinian Tobias Georges, who didn't have the best day on the water, but he did just enough in slalom and trick to rely on jump, which is the strongest of his 3 disciplines. But he's pretty handy on the slalom ski as well. He's opening up 13 meters, 32 off. A little bit of the slim shady haircut going on there. Looking good. And smooth work through 13 meters. But he's a real talent, Tobias. Former under 21 world jump champion. Jump definitely the strongest of his events, but he's a guy that's capable of running short line and tricking up around 10,000 points as well. So you bring that together with the strong jumping, and he's a real threat in this field.
Yeah, I don't know how old is Tobias. I feel like he's been around.
Yeah, I'd have to guess he's 22, 23 at most. He's
still very young.
Yeah, he skied the under 21 worlds in Mexico a couple years ago.
Okay.
So that means, do some quick math on that. He can't be older than 23, no, surely. He's fairly young.
Yeah, when I first saw him, I was like, from a distance, I was like, oh, who's the guy with the that color hair? And then, because I feel like I've seen him with some different color hairs. Different color hair throughout the seasons.
It's been a bit of a trend among particularly some of the Latin American skiers. I know Pat O'Font was rocking that hairdo a couple of years ago.
They like to have fun with it.
Yeah. This is 12 meters now, 35 off. Another warm-up pass, really, for the Argentinian. Another skier who struggled in the blustery, breezy conditions yesterday. He didn't make his way through 11 meters, which he'll want to. What I love if you watch him on this 135 side, he almost dunks that elbow in the water sometimes. Bit of a slam dunk, reminiscent, sort of very 1980s, like a Mike Shaylander kind of turn. And adding just some bit of flair to this final. It's great to have a bit of a Latin American influence in the mix.
Yeah, that's exactly the name I was thinking of, was Mike Shaylander. When I saw the elbow, you can see kind of his elbow catches, throws some spray. Kind of a unique style. I like it.
Okay, here with Alex, tying your PB again. You did it yesterday in blustering crosswinds. You did the same thing today in great conditions. How does it feel out there?
Yeah, I mean, today was way better. I mean, my 5 balls weren't quite there today, but, you know, I got through there, and I really wanted a piece of that 4 ball, but didn't quite get it.
How does it feel to be in the final? You beat a lot of us yesterday, and you got 1,000 points in slalom. You just kind of killed it, really. How does it feel to be in this final and battling the big boys?
Yeah, I felt kind of unreal in slalom, like I couldn't quite believe it, especially beating Joel in slalom, which was a cool feeling. But yeah, no, nice to like get the scores in there and be in the finals.
Well, it's awesome to watch you. Can't wait to see what you do in tricks and jump. And back to Curtis.
It's 11 meters now for Tobias Georges. A pass he struggled with in the preliminary round yesterday, but conditions night and day better today. So we're going to see him through this pass, I am sure, as he heads with that slam dunk turn from 2 into 3. He's a little bit bent over. Big turn on 3 ball. Boy, he's strong, this Tobias. He's rearing up. He's in trouble here. He throws the hammer on 5 ball. Scrappy skiing. I'm not sure he ever looked completely in control, but he never gave up, and he just fought his way through that pass.
Yeah, what I see there is just a lot of power. Just, you know, kind of he comes out of the turn, kind of almost gets his hands like in a good place, if you will, and kind of lines right up behind it, and off he goes.
It's a sort of slalom pass that keeps your local chiropractor in business, isn't it?
Yes, well said. But, you know, 22, you can get away with that these days.
Still a young man, and this is good from Tobias. This keeps him in the hunt. He would have been disappointed with the slalom performance. I had thought prematurely after he slalom not very well yesterday that potentially had ruled him out. But because we saw some upsets and tricks, because he jumped so well, he was right up there with the top jump distances we saw yesterday. He got himself out of that narrow log jam. I mean, incredible yesterday that, you know, Tobias and Alex emerging on top, but there was basically between 4th place, so 4th and 5th made the final, and 7th place, 6th and 7th missed out. The margin between those 4 people was equivalent to about a boy in slalom. That was it.
No kidding.
So just nothing separating Tobias on the water, Alex we just saw, and then Rob Hazelwood and Eduardo Morenzi who missed out. So the razor thin margins. Tobias, he's done the hard work. He's scrapped his way through 11 meters. Now he looks to challenge the lead here at 10.75. Big turn on 1. You expect nothing less as he heads now from 2 into 3. Will he crank 3 ball? He does. It's not a very good 3. He throws himself outside 4. I don't think he got it. So I think we've tied the lead there. And it's almost a shame to farewell Tobias's slalom skiing, because I think, at least for me, I'm a fan of that sort of raw power, slam dunk style. That could be some of the most exciting slalom skiing we're going to see today.
Yeah, we got a couple of skiers left that have some power. I think we'll
absolutely,
see some big turns from Joel. But yeah, actually, that one wasn't bad. I felt like at 2, you know, kind of going back to his hands, I kind of saw his hands kind of come into his chest and the elbows kind of flare, and, you know, just having to wait on the line. There's just only so much you can do is try and just get that next buoy. But.
Absolutely. So folks watching might be a little confused because we're only midway through this slalom event, and who's up next? It's Joel Poland. Very unfamiliar territory for him. He had an off day yesterday in qualifying, and he's found himself, rather than his sort of more familiar top seed position, he's middle of the pack. He's 3rd to last off the dock. We've still got Dorian Llewellyn and Louis Dupont-Fribourg to come. And it'll be interesting to see how Joel handles that, because he's so used to being last off the dock at these events. It's sort of different to see him not know the score he has to beat. I guess from your perspective, when you're skiing at events, I know some people actually almost prefer to go earlier and not have that pressure and just go out and do what they can do. I know some people do like to know what they have to beat. How do you feel about, you know, skiing earlier versus later on in a pack?
I mean, I think we all want to be the skier that can handle each of those scenarios, but I don't know. It kind of depends on sometimes the situation. If the conditions are maybe not that great, it can be good to be last off.
Know what you have to be. Yeah.
But you know, I can't. Yesterday, do you remember? Did Joel go 32, 38, or did he go 35, 38 with slalom? Because I feel like he opted.
Yeah, his second pass was 38 off. I can't recall if it was an opt-up situation or if he started at 35. I do think that, that was it didn't work out for him, I suppose, in the end, but I felt like that was a really smart strategic play yesterday, because it certainly felt like it was much harder getting a start from the western end, from that second dock. So bit of strategery with Joel Poland yesterday. It sounds like we've got Tobias George's dockside.
Tell me what you just, tell him what you just told me.
Yeah, I was just passing buoys, but it was a rough set. Not any a good buoy in the whole set.
Yeah, it's always a challenge when your head's almost underwater with your elbow. But 3 at 39, just inside of 4. That's a pretty big score. How does that feel?
Yeah, pretty good. Much better than yesterday. So, 100 more points. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, definitely an underdog in the jump scene, and I'm very excited to see you trick first, but fly out there later. Good skiing, and it's a great start to the day.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Joel had an off day by his lofty standards yesterday. He did not come out of slalom with the lead score, which is a little bit like we were talking about with Regina earlier on, where she can really build that lead in slalom. That has been the cornerstone of Joel's success in the overall event. Is, he's obviously a very strong tripper and jumper, arguably the best jumper in the world right now, but compared to these other overall guys, it's a slalom that puts him apart. And right now, he is coming back cruising through 12 meters, 35 off. Another regulation warm-up pass for Joel. But it's his ability to go out there and with such consistency, run 10.75 and get himself a score into 10.25, 41 off, where a lot of the other guys in this field, Dorian has run 10.75, 39 at times in the past, and I do feel like Dorian is peaking at the right time. His form has really been picking up throughout the season. I've seen a bunch of scores from him around 5, 5.5, so today could be the day we see him back amongst there. And honestly, Louis, I don't think Louis has yet run it in a tournament, but it's just a matter of time, you feel like, for him. But it has been Joel's dominance in the slalom that has kept him at the top of the ranks. Yesterday, though, not so good. He sort of never really looked in it. At 39, he picked up a 2 off the lead, had a bad day in tricks as well, which is why we see him third off the dock in the middle of the pack rather than his familiar top seed position.
Yeah, he looked a little off yesterday, but again, the conditions were...
It was tough.
They were just ever changing, and I think we all know Joel is so capable of anything that's kind of put in front of him. Much better day today, I expect to see.
It's funny, we say he's so used to being top seed, but I get the sense from just watching Joel compete that he almost would prefer to be the underdog. I know I've heard your husband talk about this a bit, where it's sometimes it's tough to be at the top. It's almost, you like being that challenger. This is 38 off, 11 meters for Joel Poland from the eastern end, and looking pretty calm and controlled. Where we saw maybe Tobias George's muscle and battle and fight his way through it, for Joel, not quite so exerting.
Yeah, that looked a lot more, he was a lot more settled in than what I saw yesterday with his 38. Just really looked like another warm-up pass, which is, I'm sure, exactly what he's looking for out there. Just so dialed with, I don't know, just the rhythm. He gets a great swing. I feel like he's getting out there early, decelerating, just coming through. Real clean, easy pass.
Yeah, so Joel, of course, has an opportunity here to set the pace for Dorian and Louis to chase. And again, I don't think Joel will be bothered at all about where he's skiing. He'll be upset he didn't win yesterday, right? Always want to win, but I don't think he will be bothered at all about going out early. I think he knows if he skis to his potential, he's virtually unbeatable right now. It would take huge scores, personal best probably, from some of the other skiers to match him across all 3 events. But I do wonder, we talked a little bit about how the skiers going out early set the pace. We definitely saw that in the women. Personal best from Alia, Giannina, big score from Regina. If Joel goes out here and he runs his pass, which I'm sort of expecting him to do, is that going to free up Dorian and Louis to potentially do the same or have a real good crack at it? This is Joel Poland now coming into course, 10.75, 39.5 off. From the western end, it's a good start, much better than yesterday. He heads now from 2 across to 3. He's very much in the hunt, is the Brit, as he makes his way through the back end of this pass. A little bit slow and down course, but he's gonna hang on, and he's going to run 10.75, And he's happy about that. He'd have been filthy about yesterday's slalom, and he's put that all to bed.
Yep.
I thought the start was really strong. He might have just got a little bit behind to the back end of this pass.
A little bit. I feel like kind of see that. I've watched Joel a fair amount from the boat, and he could get a little bit down course, but he has great course management. I feel like from the other angle we were watching, you could see he kind of, I felt like he sort of controlled his handle really well into 4, and then once you, as a lefty especially, once you get that 4-ball turn, you're kind of off
away,
to the races, Yeah, he's pumped.
Yeah, no one likes to lose, but I think Joel Poland is allergic to it in a way that very few others are. Maybe your husband could rival him for that, but... Okay, so Joel setting the early mark. And like we said, I mean, Dorian is very capable of running 39. Louis has yet to do it in a tournament, but you just know it's going to happen sooner or later. But where Joel has something above those guys is, he's better than a 1, even a 2 at this pass. If he gets a good start, we could see him push to a 3 or 4, I mean, even more. So can he get that start? Joel Poland, 41 off, comes around 1. It's not a great one. Yeah, he's going to S-turn 2. He's going to end up with 1.5 at 10.25, 41 off. So leaving a little bit out there, but overall he's got to be happy with that performance.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get off 1 aggressively, and then was a little deep, and then you just kind of get slung into 2. I'm sure he probably would have liked to have gotten that extra half.
Could it be the difference? I mean, if you look at the scores between Dorian and Joel out of the prelim, there probably was only half a ball in slalom separating them across all 3 events. So you just never know. I mean, every point matters out there. Joel Poland, though, sets an early lead, 1.5 at 10.25. Dorian and Louis to chase. And I'm excited because I just feel like Dorian's been knocking on the door of starting to run that pass again. And Louis, where slalom has often been his Achilles heel, it's what's let him down in the overall battles. I've seen some promising signs from him over the past few events. And I just feel like he is one good set away from running 10.75 for the first time. So anything could happen here over these next couple skiers.
Yeah, I was talking to Dorian a little bit yesterday after he slalomed, and yeah, he's really been, you can tell he's been working on, like you said, things are kind of coming together. I feel like he's kind of what his par score has like elevated, kind of what we see his average to be has been upped, which is what you want. You want to, on your average day, you want to lift. Kind of want to have those couple extra buoys.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've been really impressed with. I mean, it's been a tough couple of years for Dorian. He had that pretty bad ankle injury in 2023. He did come back at the end of the season for the World Champs, but I know that he was nursing an injury, and you're not sort of skiing at your best when that happens, and you're sort of pushing through some pain and maybe causing some long-term issues you then have to come back and address. And I think last year he was dealing with the fallout of that. So he posted some good scores across the events, but he was never quite there at his full potential. And I feel like we saw at the World Championships and building through the fall that he is finding that form across all 3 events. The trick form's been there for a long time, but we've started to see those jumps pushing up close to 230 again. And a lot of scores deep down 39. I'm expecting a score into 41 any round, any tournament now. First up, though, we'll get through some warm-up passes. This will be 13 meters for Dorian Llewellyn, opening up his campaign here at the 2025 WorldWaterSkiers Fluid Cup, presented by Dreammakers. And I love watching Dorian slalom. I love watching him ski across all 3 events. He's just got such a great technique to watch.
Yeah, it's very fluid, rhythmic. Yeah.
Definitely didn't get that from his father. I don't know. Maybe Britta had something to do with that, but.
Yeah, Britta had some rhythm. I remember her slaloming.
And it sounds like while we shorten the rope to Dorian up to 12, we should be getting ready to speak to the champ, dockside.
Okay, so we're here with Joel. Sorry, I'm here slacking. Awesome skiing, big 4 at 39, huge 1 at 41. How are we feeling out there?
Yeah, today was a lot better. Found my rhythm and just had a better mindset actually today, like showing up to the lake, just a bit more excited to ski yesterday. There's that little bit of dread with conditions being off, long season and everything. So yeah, happy with today, happy with how I skied. Left a little bit out there, you know, would have been good to complete the S-turn, but happens, it's okay.
Mindset coming back today, is that dog out of you after yesterday, you know, sat down here in 3rd seed? How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, these two guys are really good. So anytime I like mess up a little bit, they're both right there, and that's kind of what happened today. But yeah, still happy.
Good skiing, man. And now we move on to Dorian. Let's see what he can put down.
The Dorian returning now. 12 meters, 35 off. Beautiful conditions. Look at these overhead shots. Glass calm. Not a ripple to be seen, and when there is, it's almost just a gentle little head breeze. Hopefully that'll build as we head into the jump event. But these skiers looking to take advantage of these conditions, and so far you'd have to say they've pretty much all done that. A couple of them might have been disappointed there wasn't that extra buoy there. I mean, Kennedy Hansen's going to feel hard done by after running basically a perfect 11 meters, but we've had a string of personal bests. We've had scores right up around season bests from a lot of these skiers. So the scene is set here for Dorian and Louis to not give too much ground to Joel after Slalom, which has really been where they've struggled across Joel's 10 consecutive victories on tour now. I think that's been where they've struggled across each of those 10, is just giving up too much ground to Joel and Slalom. If there was ever a time to go out there and ski up around your personal best and match Joel's score, because Dorian's PB would be, I'm going to assume, to it. I know it's at 41. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm going to guess he's got it too.
Yeah, that sounds right. I would guess 2 at 41.
So he's certainly capable of matching Joel. I mean, it's going to take good skiing, but even if he can go out there and run, a 5, like he's been doing a lot of tournaments, that would keep him very much in the hunt.
In the hunt.
This is 11 meters, 38 off now for Dorian Llewellyn. And good start here from the Canadian as he heads now across to 4-ball. He's getting it done, 11 meters. And to me, the way he's running that so easily, he looks like a guy that he's running 39s in practice. He must be, right? Like,
I agree.
he's just,
that was a very, really up course, controlled pass. Like he wants to shorten the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's ready. He's set up. Could this be it for Dorian? He's been knocking on the door all season. We know the jump form is starting to come together. He's still excellent, consistent in tricks. Slalom has probably been that last piece of the puzzle for him to really get up to those Joel Poland levels of overall skiing. I mean, I think it's fair enough to call them that at this point with how consistent Joel's been. He's the world champion. He skied so well across all 3 events in Italy to claim that title, but he wants a win on tour as well. He wants to make this interesting, right? I mean, Joel wins this weekend, he's swept up the tour title because he's won 3 out of 4. No one can catch him. But if Dorian or Louis can go out and take that crown, then all of a sudden we set ourselves up for a blockbuster finish.
Yeah, it's been exciting to see, like you said, Dorian's the slalom bump up just a little bit, and then in the jump. We've been seeing the potential there for his jumping, seen him jump those big distances before, and him to put that together recently. It's been exciting. Here he comes back at.
Yep, 10.75, 39.5 off. Just a slight little breeze building out there. He comes around 1. It's a little bit slow and narrow out of 1. Not a great start. Keeps going though. He gets himself outside of 3. He's fighting for a piece of 4-ball. He's going to miss it. He just didn't get the start there.
No.
Yeah. So, look, very much still in the hunt overall wise. He's finished up 4.5 boys back from Joel, but he'll be disappointed. I mean, he's in better form right now than 3 at 39.
Yeah, just had that delay coming off 1. Yeah, he's disappointed, of course.
The last slalomer of the day coming up, Louis Dupont-Fribourg, top seed out of the finals. It's been a silver medal year for Louis, you'd have to say. He silver at the World Championships. He got second runner-up at the first 2 stops of the World WaterSkiers overall tour. He's been right there or thereabouts, but he wants more than that. He wants to finish the season on a high. He's got the form across all 3 events. His tricking is incredible. He was top seed in tricks going into the World's final. He didn't have the best day in the final, but he's got those scores up 12,500 points, so we know it's right there. He's jumping. He hasn't quite been 70 meters or 230 yet, but his personal best would be 228, 229, something like that. He's got the creds and jump. Slalom has been his weakness across the tour and in overall, but he started to consistently post scores deep down 10.75, and I think it's just a matter of time before he runs one.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually noticed, was on Instagram or something, and noticed a video come up with him slaloming, and you could tell that he's been working on his slalom. Like, definitely a noticeable technique improvement.
Right, this will be 13 meters to start for Louis, coming in from the eastern end.
Yeah, just a little nervous there.
Yeah,
Two ball.
just kind of tripped a little bit at 2, fell in towards the boat, but no worries at all. Never got late. He was, right back on top of things out of 3. But look, I'm no expert on the biomechanics of top-end skiing, but I do wonder sometimes looking at Louis' body type compared to when you look at most pro slalomers. He's so strong. Is he just a little top heavy? We'll talk about that in a minute, but we've got Dorian Llewellyn dockside.
Was that Curtis calling me strong there? I like that. That was a little bit tough. That gate at that far end kind of blew up a little bit there. How are your thoughts? 3:39, I know you wanted more, but how does that feel?
Yeah, this is going to definitely be like a shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of interview. I watched Joel go out, and obviously he's great at slalom, and he got that headwind coming back at 39, and I got all excited. Like, this is going to be, like Curtis said, like this could be the day. I've been feeling so good, and yeah, just went out the gate at 38 and felt really good that whole set, and then I saw the wind coming across, and I thought, okay, this is going to be challenging, but I tried to attack one and just came in with a little more speed than I wanted, and it is what it is. Like, I talking to Karen, I know she said that too. Like, I feel like my slalom's there. Like, I'm so close to getting really good scores.
Yeah, I know you've been slaloming pretty well. You've got 2 of your strongest events coming up, so I'm excited to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Louis Dupont freeball returning 12 meters, 35 off from the western end. Big strapping Frenchman making easy work of this pass. Nice work. No, I do wonder sometimes, he's just so strong, and what is the optimal body type for each event versus the optimal body type for an overall skier, right? Because you've got to be able to do a little bit of both. Typically, we don't see a lot of very tall trickers, but we see a lot of very tall slalom skiers. Jump's a tough one because you'd say most of the top jumpers are quite short, but then, look at Kylie, Kiwi, Igor, Bojan Shipner, right? There's been plenty of really good tall jumpers over the years as well. So obviously you can kind of make it work at all kinds of different body types. But I do wonder sometimes if, just when you're so big and so strong, is it making it, maybe it's a benefit in tricks. He needs that strength for his ski lines, his flips, but is it maybe tougher out there in slalom?
Yeah, I think they've kind of got those outliers. Like you mentioned, jumping, I feel like usually more compact, smaller frame typically works. But yeah, and then in slalom, you got like the Nate and Charlie, that's the leaner, lighter, certainly not muscle men, but yeah, I feel like I wouldn't look at Louis and think I think he's kind of well built, obviously for all, he's showing us too, for being an overall skier.
This is 11 meters, he's in trouble here as Louis. He needs to make up some ground. He's late, stays in the hunt though, he falls over. That's disappointing for Louis, and we've seen that so much over the past few seasons. We know what he can do in trick, we know what he can do in jump, but 3.5 at 11 meters, he's dug such a big hole here already. That's a pass and a half behind the leader, Joel Poland, and it's going to take something special from him now. And that's a shame from Louis because, like I said, his slalom form has really picked up, and I felt like we were on the cusp. The conditions were good to see something really big from him.
Yeah, it looks like the 2-4 offside's giving him havoc. We even saw that on the first pass, you know.
Yeah, he didn't look super settled. You know, we saw a lot of bobbles even through those early warm-up passes, and for whatever reason, Louis never really settled into a strong rhythm. And unfortunately, I mean, it's not over. Anything can happen, but he's dug himself a pretty big hole, and he's gonna have to rely on some slip-ups from some other competitors to climb his way back into this race.
Yeah, he looks like, I mean, I'm a righty, so I can't speak from personal experience, but he looks like maybe he's a little bit too anxious to try and get that offside around, like with his upper body. And I think it's, you know, kind of catching him in that offside turn, making the ski stop and grab and break over. He did well to get out of 2 on that pass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we finished slalom with Joel Poland in a commanding lead on the men's side with 1.5 at 10.25. We have a 3-way tie for second between Doran Llewellyn, Tobias Georges, and Alex Gashiel. Back at 3 at 10.75. And Louis, well, he's got some ground to make up. We will take a short break and we'll be back underway with the trick finals. And this is where the real moving happens in overall. The moving round tricks coming up in just a few minutes.
What a pleasure to be here on the beach with Pierre Plouffe, the legend here at Tremblant. Pierre, good to see you.
Hi, LA.
Tell me about your business. It's been here for a while.
We've been here for just about 25 years. We have activities for all tastes, all prices. Yes, we're waiting for you guys.
Thanks.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure $1 million mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dillinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
For over 20 years, Houston has been setting the standard of automotive excellence. Hi, I'm Dave Houston. I'd like to welcome you to the Houston family. We are committed to offering exceptional Cadillac models like the all-new electric Lyriq, redesigned XT4, and the legendary Escalade. At Houston, our personalized service and friendly staff will exceed your expectations. Feel the thrill of buying a new Cadillac from Houston Cadillac.
What a pleasure to be here on the beach with Pierre Plouffe, the legend here at Tremblant. Pierre, good to see you.
Hi, Alain.
Tell me about your business. It's been here for a while.
We've been here for just about 25 years. We have activities for all tastes, all prices, and I can show you right now in the water.
Let's go. Yeah, this has to be the perfect spot for all water sports.
Well, we're trying to have all sort of activities on the water, starting with the non-motorized pedal boat, canoes, and kayaks, and the very popular lately, the paddle board.
Yes.
We also have the sailing. We have some sailing. We have some sailing boats. We have the day camp for kids. We have fishing boats, runabout, and very popular pontoons, which you can go in the water with families and friends. We have a day camp for kids, which includes water skiing in the morning, surfing and wakeboarding, and some fun board behind the pontoon at lunchtime. We also have a floating mountain, which we call the iceberg. Actually, it's so popular that we had to buy a smaller one for little kids that wanted to go up on one side and slide on the other side.
And the lake is always perfect for water skiing early in the morning, as I know you're the world champion, you train here.
Yeah, I train every day here, and it's fun to have people training with me in the morning. Some adults training every day, and some kids also are training now.
Well, the perfect spot. We invite everybody to come and check it out.
Yes, we're waiting for you guys.
Thanks.
How does it feel? You know you've got two of your strongest events left. You've won with probably a worse slalom score than that before. How does it feel rolling on into the rest of the day?
Yeah, I made some mistakes. That was like totally my fault on this slalom pass. So I know what to improve. I know what to improve on my tricking and my jumping from yesterday. So I'm going to focus on that, and we're going to see I'm going to go get it.
What's the game plan? Are we going to see like high 12,000 point trick runs? Are we going for a little bit more world records? What's the game plan? Anything extra that you're going to try and do, or is that going to you're going to try and just go, no, stick to the game plan, even though slalom didn't go as planned? Are you going to try and just do the same thing, or do you throw everything out there now as like a Hail Mary?
I'm going to do me, and we'll see how it goes.
That is the game plan I like. Excited to see you out there. I believe we're going to be starting tricks super soon, so we'll see you guys out there.
Okay, folks, we're just moments away from getting underway with the tricks. And an exciting round of slalom, some big scores. Generally speaking, some great scores, a couple upsets. I think Dorian and Louis in particular will be upset with their performances on the men's side. And Kennedy Hansen, that was bizarre, to be honest. I've never seen anything quite like it. And she's only given up a couple boys, but certainly she'll be a bit bitter and disappointed. And while we get underway, I'll see some engagement here in the chat. So thanks for joining along. Pleased to have you with us. A lot of support for Alex Kashiel. He's obviously very popular around the world. See a few comments coming through. Someone asking why Rob's not skiing, why he's announcing. Well, you missed a cracker of a preliminary round yesterday. Rob Hazelwood did enter the event, and he skied pretty well, but he missed the final by probably the equivalent of a single boy in slalom. It was so tight. He ended up in 7th place. We only took the top 5 through to the finals. Rob Hazelwood, Eduardo Morenzi, missing out on those finals by the barest of margins, nothing separating them. It was Alex Kashiel and Tobias Georges who emerged out in front. So cracking preliminary round. And some really good skiers did not make the cut. So just another couple minutes will be underway with the women's trick final. Actually, we're just speaking about Rob Hazel. We'll have to start saying nice things about him because he's come down to join me here in the announcers booth. It's good afternoon to Rob Hazelwood.
I was going to say I can fight back all of the nice things you've been saying about me all day. Yes, unfortunately, I did suck yesterday. On all accounts, really. There wasn't really a great thing about yesterday for me.
I thought your tricks wasn't far off the pace. Tricks was probably the highlight yesterday.
Greatly mediocre. It's just all of it was like I needed a little bit more in everything. Would have been.
I mean,
I never thought I'd say I needed like half a boy more of half at 39, but I could have done with half a boy more than.
Yeah, have you ever been in an overall competition that was that tight? If we look at the gap between, you finished 7th, right, and you needed to be top 5 to make the final, but the gap between yourself and 7th and Tobias Georges in 4th was 14 overall points, which is about a single boy in slalom, maybe a toe back-to-back or something like that, or in jump it's maybe a foot or 2. It's nothing really.
And that's the great / really tough bit about overall is like my biggest jump was a slip. Toe back-to-back was out of time because of maybe 2 mistakes, a slow toe back-to-back and a slow toe 5 front. And obviously half at 39 for me it's half at 39, right? So the worst bit is you can get eaten away. You know, you can't have any slip-ups. You know, there's 3 points in each event where you go, oh, could have done that. It's like a round of golf. You know, you look back and you go, man, that could have been way better if one of this had happened. You know, and I'm glad I'm now back to being a slalom specialist because.
But you're not where. We're going to see you in 2 weeks. It was a very brief cameo, Rob.
It was I did well. It's been like 2 months now doing this. So my knees hurt again. My neck hurts again. My back hurts again. So that means I've done too much. You know, it's time to head home, do a bit of gym.
Well, you shone brightly, at least for a short moment. It was great to see you at the World Champs.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure to see you back out in all 3 events. And maybe after a long off season, we might see you next year. I don't know if you're a World's Year specialist.
I'm a World's Year specialist, which is tricky. You know, it's March 2026. It's like, which year is that? I'm gonna have to. So I will have to start next year. But no, it's been a great honor to be able to overall again, and it's a lot of fun. And every time I pick the skis back up again, I'm like, oh man, why did I quit? You know, it's like, oh, this is great. Like, I'm close, this is this. And then the knee hurts and this hurts. And that's the one thing that I feel like isn't spoken about enough is the sheer injury-provoking sport that this is in terms of these guys and girls to keep their body in one piece through a whole season, let alone I've been doing this, I think I started in July and we're now in October and I'm broken.
Yeah, I mean...
So, and I took like 18 months off of overall, so... the sheer talent that these boys and girls have to be able to do this every single day and train lifelong at this sport and still be in one piece is very underrated in my opinion.
Incredible. We have our first tricker on the water getting things underway in the trick finals. It will be Alia Jung Hanifa of Malaysia who tricked slalom personal best.
Yes. Great start to the day.
She's going to run 12 any day now because she looked... I thought she might have been disappointed with that score because I thought she was by all means about to run it, but a personal best for her in slalom, opening up strong.
You know what your parents say, you can never be mad with a PB. Yeah. But all right, let's see what you can do here in trick. Starting with a toe 7 front to front. Absolutely fantastic. And a little tripped up on that 5 back, but beautiful toe it back to back there. Oh!
Disappointing. Oh. She's such a strong tricker, and toe tricker in particular. I mean, I can remember watching her toe trick at events at about 9 years old, opening with that same toe 720. And, you know, that's really where she burst onto the scene initially as one of the best young junior skiers in the world. And unfortunately, a lot like yesterday in the hands, her tricks has let her down.
And that, I mean, a small trip up on the toe 5 back that is expected in the parts of a run really and look good, you know, recovered well for the first toe back to back. And yeah, just a little bit surprising to see her go down on a trick that, like you say, she's probably done since she's been 10 years old, you know, an incredible talent for a very long time. And yeah, that was not good to see on an overall round, especially when she had such a great slalom to start.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, we talk a lot about tricks as the moving and shaking around an overall. I mean, folks will say this is where overall is won and lost, typically is in the tricks event. Not because tricks is necessarily more important than the other events, it's just the event that is the hardest to get right and the easiest to lose a lot of points, right? In slalom, I mean, a really good day and a really bad day for you they're probably a pass apart for the most part. In jump, you know, you get those 3 attempts, so, you know, sometimes you jump better or worse, but it's the margin is small. It's 5-10 feet at most. But in tricks, you have a bad day in tricks and you lose half your points.
Yeah, like for me, it's thinking about it as a trick pass is like each trick, and for her, toe it back-to-back reverse is an incredibly hard trick. Incredibly hard trick. There's professional skiers out there that refuse to do it because of a couple edges over a time, you know, and it can be so soul-destroying because you have to put those tricks early, you know, in the hand, starting mobes, wake 5, ski lines. You put these hard tricks in tricky times, and especially at an overall event like this, there's a lot more decision that probably goes into forming a trick run. But in slalom, 32 is a 32, a 35 is a 35, and again, like you say, you go through those phases, you work through them, and you aren't as expected to see those mess-ups. But like you say, in tricks, toe back-to-back reverse is a hard trick, and today, unfortunately, it got the better of her. But if she's going to fall on one run, toe run's probably the one to do it on. You know, she has a strong hand run, she has some very good flips. So there's a good chance of her clawing back a good bunch of points here, and at the end of the day, that is overall. You know, she's probably competing.
It's never over, right?
Yeah, it's never over, and she's competing against...
yeah, she's pushing for winning the event. I think in a couple of years, Alia could be in that conversation. Right now, she's young, she's improving.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a podium position probably would have been her goal, and she needs everything out of this pass. Opens up over the line into the flips now. It's already gone better than yesterday as she starts to pick up the pace through the back end of this pass.
Nice
full twisting, back-to-back.
And beautiful. Going with the mob, going with the back landing. Are we going to see the reverse back landing? Yes, we are. And that is a whole load of points right there. Very, very smooth. And that's one thing with Alia. I know she's been kind of working on those mobs for a while. I was hoping we would see the second mob in there. But that's going to be a big run, and we will see very quickly how much that's going to add up to. But that's going to end up about 5,000 points. Maybe just a scotch under. Actually, I think almost 10 over. But that's a fantastic score, really, to claw back when she's fallen on her second trick or third trick in toes. To be able to put down 5,000 points is definitely clawing back a couple bits. And at the end of the day, in overall, literally anything could happen. So
that's right. I mean, we have no idea. We expect, if things go well, for the likes of Giannina and Kennedy to trick up around 9,000 points. Both of them have tricked over 10,000 points in the past. That's a possibility as well. Regina, you know, I'm not sure what her ceiling is right now. It's probably more around the 7,000 point mark. But because she has that big lead out of slalom, Regina can afford to give a little ground here in tricks. So, I mean, this fight for the title is very much a 3-horse race. Kennedy Hansen, she'll be the most disappointed. Did you see that? I mean, that's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in slalom.
I saw the 5, turned around, I was like, she ran it. And then I obviously hear the shock on the bank, and then I saw the video afterwards, and weird fall. You know, occasionally, you know, we hit a roller at 6, you bounce at the turn. You know, the turn's one thing, but very weird to fall at the wake like that. And she was distraught's the wrong word, but a little bit frustrated with herself that.
Absolutely filthy.
It's
herself,
filthy.
I think is how I would feel.
And the tricky bit is you kind of know now that looking back at that, if I was in her boots as a skier, I would be looking back at that at the end of the day, and that's one of those things that so she's got, say, 5.5 at 38. Even if she would have rode out that, she would then probably get a full 1, if not at least 2 or 3 at 39. But say she only gets the full 1, that's another 30, 40 points, which in overall is huge. You saw the split yesterday. It's super, super tight. So the hardest thing about those 5.5s or those 5 is if you get that next buoy, you also then open up way more points than you would kind of think naturally. So, yeah, that's going to be a challenge for her, but I'm very excited to see her go trick. But first up, we have Giannina.
Yeah, and probably the strongest tricker in this woman's field. She certainly has the highest personal best, the European record holder.
Oh, that's not a great start.
Yeah, she struggled yesterday rope on toe. She's had some consistency issues throughout this year. This is her comeback season after taking maternity leave. Can she stand up here rope on toe? Beautiful toe 720 to start. She goes through these toe wake back-to-backs now. She's motoring through. She's got a good rhythm here. Such a beautiful toe 540 there as she goes outside the wake now over the line. The toe line 360 is great. Little bit caught up on the line there. Toe line back. The toe line back-to-back is good. That's a good toe
I
pass.
think that was almost a fist throw on the landing of on that toe line back-to-back. Janina is one of those people, if anybody is watching this and trying to trick in any manner, watch Janina. You know,
One thing I noticed, if we could contrast it, if we watched her toe run compared to, say, yours yesterday, is there was a lot of arm movement, Rob. I have to say, what's going on with
that? Joel always sends me a message after a trick and says, oh, that was like 25 arms, hands overhead. It's I do like to throw my hands up there, but... Oh, but before we talk about my wailing hands, let's head to the dock, and I believe we'll have Alia.
Right there, you're good.
Alia, kill over hand run after a little bit disappointing first pass.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I honestly, of course, I wanted to both passes stood up, but it didn't really work out. Yeah, but also I feel like this I don't ski behind Mastercraft so often, so it's a little tricky, and I honestly just have to, adapt better.
For sure, get a bit more practice sets behind this boat.
Yeah.
This is your first showing on the overall tour. Skiing against the best overall skiers in the world. How does that compare to your other events?
I mean, it's pretty decent. Like, I'm so happy to be skiing amongst like the best of the best. And honestly, I'm just like happy that I get to be in this kind of environment as well. So yeah, it's good for me as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Curtis.
Okay, so we got a confirmed score on that toe run. Was that 43.90 there for Janina, which I don't know if there's something missing on the end of that. I don't know if that wake front maybe out of time than we see normally. But at the end of the day, a fantastic run there, and coming into the big money maker here on this hand run. I'll be intrigued to see what run she goes with. Again, these overall events are more about consistency than big scores, but she's seen Regina throw down a 2 at 41, so are we going to see the multiple front flips and multiple mobes here? But I'm excited. Let's see what we've got here with Janina.
I think she has to go for it. She doesn't know what she's going to have to chase. Starts with some crisp, clean wake 540s over the line and into the flips, and she is such a strong front flipper. She'll do the regular and the reverse, stomps it straight into the back landing, and
goes
down
so
fast.
quick.
That's disappointing. That's really disappointing for Giannina, and her struggles with consistency continue. Across each of the individual events at various points throughout the season, Rob, she's posted those scores right back where she was. We saw a great slalom before. We've seen her trick over 10,000 points multiple times this year. We've seen those jump scores up in the 50s, but she just has yet to quite get it all together in one round. And like we said, overall is won or lost in the trick event, and right now, Giannina and Alia have found themselves well short of what they would have liked, and the door is left open here for Kennedy Hansen and Regina Jackless.
I think Regina's going to be licking her lips at this point, seeing that, that's really tough. I mean, huge, and she will have a good set of points there, but throwing down 2 clean 5s, a beautiful ski line, and again, those front flips are some big points, but it's a shame to see her go down so quick. I believe they'll call that, it's a tricky one, I don't know whether they'll call that as a fall on the front or a fall on the back landing. She made herself quite a way away from the wake. I'll be interested to see the replay.
Yeah, I think you're a fairly generous judge if you...
Yeah, but it's a tricky one, because I think if we manage to get that replay, she's landed. The weight is turned onto the ski, and I believe the crash comes from turning to the front. And it depends on if she ate it down the wake. I might be getting this wrong, but I believe she almost caught that edge coming to the front off the Chris. See a little heely on that toe side flip. It's a landing and then goes down in the front. So she's going to get the back landing out of that.
You've convinced me, Rob.
And that is the most heartbreaking fall you can have on a trick ski, because you think you're done. You're like, I'm already thinking about that reverse landing, She's been working on that trick a lot and trying to get it dialed. And you always think you're good, and then the next minute your eyelids are peeled back. So that's tough to see, but we next move on with Regina. Very excited to see this. Wouldn't class herself as a tricker. I think this is the second trick set since Worlds, which isn't that many in about 2 months. So let's see what she can do. Beautiful toe 7 moving through there. Oh, we're getting a little squirrely into the toe 5. Nice toe back to back. Come into the toe wake front. Is she going to set that rhythm again? Nice toe back to backs. Lovely toe 5 front. She's moving through this very well. Toe sides, toe wake back. I think we're making things up at the end here. Toe line back to back. Beautiful. And toe line back, we're still going. I think there may be time in there somewhere. Not the traditional. I imagine having some issues with toe echo by the looks of that, but she's obviously kind of cobbling together the tricks that she feels most comfortable with, you know. And
she is, but she did this yesterday where I was sort of blown away by the point total because, you know, it'll come down to timing at the end of this pass, but that could end up being a 3,500 point toe pass, which it sort of sneaks up on you, right? Like, it's a good toe pass in the end.
Yeah, and it looks like we're almost set there with that 31.90. And like you say, cobbling together tricks that have points, you know, that toe side in the middle, 130 points, really adds to the situation. And to be honest, 2 trick sets since Worlds, and throwing
we
out
should
a
clarify,
7.
Rob, when we say 2 trick sets since
sorry,
Worlds,
the one was
she tricked in the
yesterday.
prelims yesterday,
Yeah.
so she had an up and back, and she's now had a 3rd pass. So you can ponder that as we check in with an upset Giannina.
I don't know. I'm a little speechless. Everything was going really well, and I mean, my toe run was perfect. My hand run, the start was perfect. I really don't know what happened. Like, all of a sudden, I was in the water, and I didn't bubble. I didn't do anything. I came front, and I don't know. It was like something pulled my ski down. So I'm not sure. It's unfortunate, but we had one more event to go. So
for sure.
Let's hope for the best and jump.
It's definitely one of your bigger ones.
Yes.
Too.
So we'll see.
Was the alligator under the water?
I guess so. Thank you.
Good luck with
Thank
jump.
you.
Back to you, Curtis.
So we have a confirmed score there of 31.90 for Regina, and to cobble together a run like that, and it looked quite smooth. You know, that toe 7, not easy tricks rolling in there. It's a trick that a lot of people would love to see that smoothly.
I mean, it was a past life in a certain sense, Rob, but she is the only former world trick champion in this women's field.
That's true.
I mean,
that's
it was
a fair point.
I'm not sure Kennedy Henson was alive when that took place.
No,
but
probably not.
And certainly she's moved on in her career, and she's become known primarily as a slalom skier, although her jump is still incredible, and she will throw out some pyrotechnics here on hands.
Ooh, getting a little tip heavy there. Wake 5, wake 5. We've got wake back-to-backs, moving into the flip sequence here. Going with the regular heel side, toe side. Are we going to see a landing? Nope. We're going to go with the back landing. Will we see the reverse? Nope, we're going to go in with the half cab. And getting some points racked up here. Front flip. Oh, and going with the back flop there.
That could be fatigue. I will say, talking to Regina, she's been stretching for about the last 3 hours. She was hurting after yesterday's skiing.
Yeah, no, that was a half-baked attempt at front flip. We'll say that. Would I say that to her face? No, even though she can probably hear me right now. But again, cobbling together kind of 3,500 points there, and a tricky run to call, but again, throwing some points down and putting her name on this overall field. And it truly shows that you don't lose experience, you know. I've seen Regina, I've seen up at Corey's how hard she works, and the amount of hours that you can tell have been putting on that trick ski is phenomenal. And the fact that she can go out there and put 65.50 together, which I believe in Regina's kind of highlight, she was tricking 9, but was more maybe averaging the mid-8s, if I'm correct in saying that. But so a 6,500 there is a big score to put down, and that's really going to kind of shake up the expectation of this overall field with a 2 at 41 and a 65.50. And I would call Regina, obviously slalom is her strength, but when she puts her boots on those jump skis, she's won pro events before. So
yeah, I mean, I think she is the best jumper in this field on form, and a personal best as well. The only caveat to that is that she hasn't, apart from yesterday, she hasn't jumped since the World Champs, so she's a little bit underdone. But certainly throughout this season, she has been the pick of the woman we have in this field.
As you would say to end a movie or to start a movie, you'd say, don't try that at home. You know, that takes a lot of experience to be able to go there. And how far did she go yesterday? I didn't see the final score.
She led. It was about 160 feet. I mean, it was a good jump. So Kennedy Henson right now.
This is a huge moment.
For her to take the lead out of Solomon Tricks, and I think she needs to take the lead because, probably Regina has the firepower to out-jump her. She needs about 8,000 points to take the lead after Solomon Trick.
Yeah.
If she can push up around 9,000 points, then she builds herself a very healthy buffer. She leads the tour right now She wants to put this tour title to bed right now, though, if she can. She moves her opening toe pass. She's starting strong, went big on those toe wake back-to-backs, has lost some time, but she's regaining composure as she motors in and out of the line, outside the wake now. These are the critical tricks to finish. She starts throwing her ski over the line, a toe step back-to-back, and a toe wake front to finish.
Beautiful. That's what she needed.
Look at the lack of facial expression. She's all business out there.
All business. That's just motoring on through, and I think the head game of these overall events is really, really tricky, and I'm excited to hear from Regina down at the dock.
I don't think I was going to make it.
Regina, I know a lot of us are super excited to see you back in the overall race.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe not 100% the trick score you wanted, but you've got a good lead.
Hey,
as well.
no, you know what? It was down and back close enough to the last flip. I just needed a few more Red Bulls to give me my wings on that front flip, and I think I'd have been all right. But hey, you know, it could have been worse, and I didn't have my timing. I was a little off, but I got down and back and fell on the last flip, which was a big points, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, you live and you die by overall in the trick event, like Curtis was saying earlier. And yeah, I heard the smack talk, Rob, don't worry. But no, like I'm happy with that. So, you know, as long as you can stay close and tricked and you can do your better events to where your potential is, I mean, that's what all you can do for overall.
Oh, for sure. I will make sure I'll give you the Red Bull before you go jump.
I need that.
Back to you, Curtis.
Well, what a champion Regina Jackless is. I mean, it's like in Gladiator when they bring the old master out of retirement just one more time. She had no preparation, no training for this event, and right now she is very much in the mix to potentially win this overall stop. Kennedy Hansen, though, she is one stand-up hand pass away from building a very healthy lead going into jump. Again, we think she probably needs a lead. She needs a buffer. I would expect Regina to out-jump Kennedy in the jump finals later on. It's not a done deal, but I think on form, Regina has her right now. But Kennedy, stand-up toe pass, up over 4,000 points, similar to what we saw from Giannina. If she can get through this handle pass, we should be looking at a score in excess of 8,000, maybe even 9,000 points.
I believe she's even broken the 10,000 point barrier before, and I mean the toe run, I believe that's the standard toe run that she would have done.
She may have lost something at the end. I think she might have just been a little under what she needed. Her toe run ended up just back from Giannina's. I think I heard 41.90.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so she's probably lost a little bit there. So again, in overall, quite literally every 10 points matters. So excited to see what she can throw down here, and a very, very classical tricker, Kenna, you know, beautiful spins and just gets so much pop off that wake. So consistency is probably one of her strong suits, I would say. So let's see if what she can put down and what run she decides to go with. It looks like we're going to start with some flips here, wrapping up for that first mob. Beautiful and clean, going into that landing nicely. Second mob, are we going to see the front flip? Nope, we're going to see the heel side flip. Moving into the reverse landing, very smooth, going into that back landing, beautiful half cab. We're going to reset. Are we going to see fives or some ski lines there? Ski line back inverted, very nice trick there. 5, seeing the reverse, and wake back to back.
That's class.
That's
what
she
all
needed
class.
to do.
That is not her hardest run. That is not her personal best 10,000 point run. But what it will
not the
be
time for it, you know,
it's going to be over. It could be over 9,000 points. This, and if
and-
she gets up over 9,000 points, she has built such a strong, such a healthy lead that she is going to have some. She's going to be able to give up quite a bit of distance and jump. So right now, you'd have to say Kennedy Hansen sitting in the box seat after Solomon tricks.
9.
Yep. So not confirmed yet, but we could have a score up at 9,500 points. I think it's looking likely that high.
Yeah.
And that score is going to give her a healthy lead. And then Regina and Giannina, after Solomon tricks, are effectively tied, right? So obviously, Giannina will be disappointed with her tricks, but she did put some distance on Regina still, and she slalomed so well, Giannina, that she is still very much in the mix. And look, we know what Giannina's capable of on the jump skis, so there's plenty to play for, but Kennedy Hansen very much in the box seat in the women's overall right now.
Oh, yeah, and that's, at the end of the day, it's, a lot of people say you strip a couple tricks out of a run and makes it easier, makes it smooth, but she still had to go and execute, you know? That was just a beautiful trick run. Those mobs, very hard place to start, really. And we often see a lot of the women tending to start with the 5s and the ski lines and leaving those mobes more towards the end of the run. And Kenna kind of going against tradition there and putting them straight at that start, going out maybe on the more risky side than starting with the ski lines and the 5s, but just showing us that it paid off. And a 94.30, I believe there was that confirmed. And that puts her with a fairly healthy lead moving into jump. But the one thing we know with jump is anything can happen. You know, we have a little bit of almost a tailwind switching to a taily cross. So jump is not one of those places. And with Kenna probably it been her weakest of the 3 events, I think she would be fine in me saying that. Anything can happen. Nothing's written off, that's for sure. But we move on into the men and we see the superstar Alexander Gushil. I might have butchered that and I apologize. My German's not great. But excited to see what he can put on. And
I mean, what a weekend he's been having.
Just a class act yesterday.
Yeah, I
you know,
mean,
just stomping down points after points after points. And I know he was a little bit frustrated with his jump, but he just put down what he needed to do and seeing a beautiful toe 5 back. Love the way that he tricks. Very smooth, very rhythmic, and not the quickest we're going to see today, that's for sure, but just make sure every single trick is clean and well scored. Big Waco there. We're going to see the toe line out. We are just managing to move into that toe line back nicely. Toe line back to back. Absolutely fantastic finish there. And that landing of that toe line O moving into toe line back is one of those split decisions. You have half a second to decide, I'm back, I've got no rope, I'm on my heels, where are we going to go? And just managing to snap that rope in and saving the run. Let's head to the dock and see who we got.
Kennedy, absolutely beautiful trick run both ways. Did you adjust your run after you saw Janina and Regina ski?
I mean, I do have 2 runs that I can do. I just tried to do the same run I did yesterday, but go for both mobes. I knew I had to get a good score, but I just went for an easy run that I knew I could stand up. So, and after seeing them fall, I just knew I needed to stand up.
Yeah, cool. No, it's a pretty hefty lead before the jump. So, what's jump going to be look like?
Just do as best as I can and try to get a big jump out there.
For sure. Thanks. Back to you, Curtis.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, we talked, Rob, yesterday, a lot of the guys battling for those last couple spots, and you were a part of that in the final, that they'll be ruining little mistakes. Alex Gushil, obviously, his jump maybe let him down a bit, but he didn't really leave anything in the water and slalom the trick. I mean, he stood up with the best slalom score of the day in what were very difficult conditions, not at all similar to today.
No.
Tricks, you know, he finished about 9,900. That's got to be only a couple hundred points shy of his personal best.
And the bit that with Sam is that's his PB.
Yeah.
It's a tied PB, you know,
Twice
going
now.
out there and getting it done when he needed to. And I'm not sure how many of these events he's done now, but I know he's a little less experienced than a lot of the guys that he's competing against. And it's big moves to go out there and throw down that score. And in the midst of his collegiate season and messing with jump heights and speeds, and there's a lot to focus on and there's a lot that can scramble you mentally. But to be able to go there and just put down what he did yesterday, and yes, the jump maybe let him down. I know he's been near that 60 meters before. He might have even surpassed it. But to put down that 56, he knows that there's stuff out there. But that boat was pretty meaty, and I know he was pretty nervous for it. So I think now he's had a set behind it. He's going to kind of know a little bit more what he's expected, and definitely a dark horse in the field, especially with Dorian going down maybe a little bit early on that slalom. Who knows, if Alexander can put down a score here, I'm excited to see where that leaves him.
Yeah, I mean, standing up when the pressure's on, it's one of those intangibles. I don't know how you teach or coach it. It's really experience, it's
grit,
mindset, it's grit. Like you said, it's a hell of a thing to do.
And it's based on how strong your foundations are. How strong are those bases? And this is where we get to find out. Looks like he's starting here with a mobe. Let's see if he can set nice rhythm into that flip. Beautiful first mobe. Gets the reverse in there. I believe we go straight into the front flip. Good, strong landing. We see the reverse landing. We're going to see the reverse, and we're going to roll into the half cab here. Beautiful half cab set up for those ski lines. Ski line O, ski line back to back. And is he going to finish off with the ski line 5? He is, stomps it, and throws the wake 5 in just for a little bit of fun there. He did it. You know, that's going to be the same point score as yesterday. And that hand run bar, obviously the ski line 5, which is a big trick, 550 points, stomps it very smooth. And I like the way that front flip takes a second. He doesn't need to go quick. He doesn't need that last 5. It helps, obviously, but the biggest priority is stomping these 3 ski lines and getting them in time. Beautiful ski line 0, melding well into the ski line back-to-back, and just throwing everything into the ski line 5. And there's some strength there to hold on to that. And that's going to be just shy of 10,000, maybe even hitting that 10,000 mark there. So huge run there from Alexander, and I'm excited to see what jump has to hold.
Yeah, it just looks bankable. Like it's almost stock default, 9,000-10,000 point tricker type stuff, right? Like
got cut on that toe run. We didn't see that through the interview. We see here, so the 32.60, we have the exact same run. So he's been cut, definitely the toe line 0. And maybe would that have meant that the toe line back-to-back, there's something in there at a time as well, dropping him down to 32.60. And with a strong hand score, putting him at 9,230 points, it's good enough. It's good enough. He wanted more, but it's definitely good enough for the standard that he's at right now. But I'm excited to see what he can jump, and with that boat, he knows what to expect. See if he can put down somewhere near that PB, and maybe see if he can sneak his way into that podium.
Yeah, and we're getting that confirmed through at 9,230. So, like you said, Rob, losing some points at the end of his toe pass, and I mean, I think the toe line 0 call was probably reasonable.
Yeah. And
he really lost balance at times throughout that toe pass. He was going pretty big, traveling a lot side to side. And whereas maybe his hand pass was a picture of composure, the toe pass left a little bit to be desired. But hats off to the young man.
Oh, impressive.
I mean, how well did he ski just to make these finals? And I feel like probably riding the high of that, he's happy just to be out here. And he still has himself very much in contention as we move through the rest of these events. But next up, Tobias Georges, another skier that emerged out of that log jam to make the final. And jump, certainly the cornerstone of his success. He booted off some big jumps last night.
But then starting this morning with a 3 at 39, just scraping inside 4. Maybe didn't do it how he wanted to, but let's see if he can smoothen out his toes. Nice toe whip back-to-back, toe back-to-back reverse, toe back-to-back. Skis a lot with Pato Font, and we're seeing that speed as he moves through this. Going to the toe echo. Ooh, sneaking in the toe side. Toe line back-to-back. Are we going to see the reverse? Oh, and being pinned there.
Yeah. I think it's Pato on the boat too.
That's one for the... That's a tricky one. Honestly, I'd love to see that angle from the boat maybe. Probably didn't cross the wake anyway.
True. So I'd say it's the very last trick at times. So
yeah, and hard to see from this side.
So if it wasn't going to be credit, why rip his leg off?
Yeah, it's one of those. And
I mean, let's face it, Pato Font has forgotten more about trick skiing than either of us will ever know. So I'm not going to stand here and question his releasing.
No, me neither. But it's good to see Pato getting involved with this tournament and helping out a friend and showing some great experience in that boat. But let's head to the dock and see who we got.
Alexander, killer of a day yesterday and just as much today.
Yeah, slalom was really good. Happy with that score. Tricks, toes was so-so. Could make up for it in hands. But yeah, just gotta go for some big jumps now, and
really
we'll see
big
what
jumps.
we got. Yeah,
for sure. No, you've had a really good time. So this is your first real final in the overall tour. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it feels amazing. It definitely motivates me a lot to work even harder and push the boys on top. And yeah, excited to see what's coming.
Yeah. So you and Kenna seem to be the dream team here. So who's the bigger help, you to Kenna or Kenna to you?
I would say just as equal. I mean, we support each other on and off the water, and it's really great. I mean, just pushes each other, and that's really nice to have.
For sure. Thanks so much, and good luck in jump.
Thank you, guys.
Wait, back.
All right. So we're getting things started here in this men's tricks final.
Yeah, look, Tobias Georges, he has slalom really well. He picked up a lot of buoys compared to yesterday's effort. He started well on toes. Look, he's left some points, but look, his toe run's probably matched Alex's. It could end up being more because everything was credit until the very end there. And he's a great flipper as Tobias, and we know what he can do in jump.
Yeah.
So right now, he's in the box seat to sort of, move up to fourth or even challenge a Louis or a Dorian or a Joel if they have an off day throughout, because so far, so good, you'd have to say, from Tobias.
Yes, no, it's fantastic. And Tobias, definitely a dark horse. I know the individual events don't necessarily matter, but a dark horse to kind of take the jump event. He has that kind of 220-foot jump in him. We've seen it at the Worlds going huge. So definitely a dark horse for this event. But let's see if he can put down this hand run here. He's going to need every single bit of it to see if he can challenge today's leaders. But let's see, starting again with that mobe. Beautiful landing and a little rocked there, but it's okay. Going with the half cap, stomping the front flip as he goes in there. Gets the regular flip, gets the back landing, and what are we going to see here? The reverse.
Ooh,
beautiful. Ski line, no. Ski line back to back. Are we going to see a ski line 5? No, goes with the ski line back, getting those points in.
He's happy.
I think so.
And I love getting a little bit of Latin American flair into this. They had just I think the best fist throws after a trick pass in the world. Definitely, without a doubt, you know, like the Maddie Gonzalez or the Pato Font fist throw, it's excellent. And I love bringing a little bit of that sort of hard on the sleeve flair to this event. And good to see Tobias here. And look,
you know what?
He hasn't showed up to a ton of these overall events, but every time he has, he's added something special to the mix. So I think, you know, last year he was in the Tour finals as well, or at least a couple of years ago. He just finds a way to deliver, and would love to see him, you know, a more consistent entrant traveling to some more of these events, because I think he's got the talent, he's got the creds to really mix it with the best in the world.
Very much so. And you know what actually maybe kind of goes amiss in that hand run, and I missed the call when I was doing it, but you see there how he bottled, I guess, for lack of a better word, that second mobe, which makes him have to completely reorganize his run. Because I assume normally where he would land that front flip and going with the reverse landing, he was very quick on his feet to swap out that what would be reverse landing for a regular flip, so he could do the reverse landing later on. And it seems simple to think, okay, well, I've done this, let's swap this trick, simple. You know, but as soon as you make that mess up, unless you've calculated for that to maybe happen, maybe it's a consistent problem. But unless you've got that run ready in your back pocket, it can be a really almost scary place, because you're trying to do a front flip, you're trying to do a reverse landing, you're trying to do all this stuff, and you're almost going, oh, I messed up, I know I need to change something, but it actually can be quite hard to get that brain firing. And
the improvisational skills are incredible, right? And I know sometimes they're somewhat pre-planned, but sometimes these skiers go off script, and to come up with a sequence that both works and not repeating tricks, it's efficient, adds points. Like, okay, he's lost 250 points.
Yeah, and that's all it is, and he's recovered well, and putting down, I believe that's going to be a confirmed 8,730 points there, which not quite as good as yesterday, but with the fall, that's a strong load of points that he's managed to put down there, and like you say, putting out those improvisational skills, and if he makes a mistake there and maybe does 2 half cabs or 2 regular toe side flips, he's lost 500.
Right.
Plus the reverse landing that he didn't do, so you lose 750 points. And it's a tricky place to be, and he handled it well. Next up, though, we have someone with no plan B. He is just gunning straight for it, and excited to see. Fell early yesterday on this toe line 5. We saw a lot of early falls yesterday as we moved through these toe runs, so let's see if he can recover it. Speeding up. Heard him on the dock yesterday thinking that boat felt just a little bit slow. So firm those wakes a little bit. Let's see what he's got.
Joel Poland starts with the toe wake 540s, motoring through 10 consecutive stops. He's got a bit of a record on the line here, and he struggled on toes yesterday. This is looking better here from the Brit. He goes over the line, outside the wake. This was the trick that undid him, the toe line 5. It's beautiful today, toe line back to back. It's big, but he's getting it done rapid fire, and no mistake at all. How cool and smooth that toe line front to finish.
Yeah.
The look you can just see in his eyes sometimes.
Is showing that there's more than coolness in there at the end.
And that was a big toe line 5, wasn't it?
Oh, he got a little crossed up there, and that's the trickiest part of that toe line 5, especially the new way where they're kind of doing the 3 then the back. You have a lot of moving parts going on through that top of the wake, and just moving off and maybe rotating a little bit early. And I'd be intrigued if we can get a replay and seeing how those feet kind of got crossed over there, because just that split second where he broke at the waist in the air, that's very, very close to going down again, and making this day a whole lot more different than it is right now. But getting that run down, I'll be intrigued to see the scoring and see if there's any no credits.
I mean, let's put it like this. If Joel Poland and the score is coming through and it's the stock standard Joel Poland toe pass. They'll time that last toe egg line front.
Yeah,
But even if he doesn't get it, anytime you trick over 5,000 points on toes, that is elite, the creme de la creme. And we'll talk more about what's about to come up. But first off, we're going to check in with Tobias George's dockside.
Tobias, love having you on the overall tour for sure. So you need to make a few more stops work for you. How was that run?
Yeah, I mean, it was decent. 87, I think, was the score. Maybe good to try to defend the fourth position I got yesterday. Maybe not enough to try to battle the big guys, but I'm happy.
Yeah, but the battle of the big guys will come soon, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
And jump is your better event against Alexander for sure?
Yeah, I'll try to put a big one like yesterday, and I think that will be enough.
Oh, for sure. Good luck with jumping.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Curtis.
Okay, so 5,050 points confirmed there for Joel. That's a big toe pass. I think the toe line front's more of a work in progress, I would say, in terms of time and getting that in. But getting full credits there. His toe line O was on the edge for me. I think they scored it 100% correctly there, but you never know with the trick panel. You know, maybe wake up on the wrong side of bed and that gets cut. But I think that's a very strong score there and very good tricking.
Yeah, I mean, and this next 20 seconds will probably decide your overall winner, because if Joel Poland stands up, he tricks up close to 12,000 points. It is hard to see how Dorian or Louis will have a pathway to catching him. But we have seen, it's tough. We've seen it before. He opens up with the mobe and the reverse. He'll transition now into the half jack or through to a front flip. It's looking good so far. He goes in now for the big Super Mobe 5. It is clean. It is good. He's over the line. This could be another tour title in the bag. You'd have to think for Joel Poland. It's 2 stand-up passes. I mean, I can't fault anything there. That looks like a score with a 12 heading towards it.
I'd be very surprised if it's not. He knows, and it's awesome to see how much this means to him. You know, throwing the fist there at the finish, slamming the rope, really mic drop moment as we move into that, and that is a huge hand run. A little couple scars on the God, that's a lot of letters on that Super Mobe 5, but a scar from that toe side front flip from Worlds, and under rotated it yesterday as kind of the first tournament back, and I was like, ooh, that was a little close. But today there was absolutely no question. Clean pop on that toe side front flip, and that led into just a beautiful Super Mobe 5, and looking like, unconfirmed yet, but looking like 7,050 points on that hand run. And that is a huge score. And as you previously said, it's hard to see a shake-up happening, but we've seen more surprising things happen.
We don't know what's going to happen in jump yet, but Joel Poland has been the best water ski jumper in the world for the past 24 months. I think it's hard to argue that. He didn't have his best day yesterday. He did have the top jump score, but only by a foot. But really what Dorian and Louis need is to match him through Slalom and trick to give them a shot. And look, Dorian Llewellyn has a personal best of just a shade under 12,000 points. He's tricking very well. I'm sure he will have that high 11s run in the bank. But he's got that little bit of a hole after Slalom, and that's tough. And then Louis, of course, Louis can trick more than that. Louis is the best tricker in this field. He's got a best about 12,500 points. But because Louis had an off day in the Slalom, even if he goes out there and tricks 12.5, he's still going up some ground. So the way it looks right now, even if both Dorian and Louis go out and trick really well, they're going to have to out-jump Joel. And that is a tough thing to do.
The two people I would never discount is always going to be the two past overall world champions.
Sure.
You know, you have them both standing on the dock afterwards. But first of all, we're going to speak to Joel.
Joel, 2 beautiful stand-up runs. There's nothing more to say.
Yeah, really happy with that. Obviously, yesterday it did not go to plan. And yeah, just reset my brain for today. Came in with the right attitude, and yeah, you know, it's nice kind of actually going out in the middle of the pack and not really having the pressure on you. It's when you're last guy out, there's a lot of pressure. You got to go and compete against that score. When you're in the middle of the pack, you kind of get to just go and ski. So, you know, there's always upsides to not skiing great. That's it. And yeah, super happy with how today's going.
Cool, well, great. I was actually just going to ask you about that. So which then do you prefer, do you think? I mean, it's always nice to be last.
Yeah, it's nice skiing well in prelims and then, you know, feeling confident. I didn't feel very confident coming into today. But, you know, there's
But setting the pace ahead.
Yeah, no matter where you are, you can find an upside to being in that
for
position,
sure,
right?
for sure.
So yeah, I would like to be last guy out every time, but it's okay.
Yeah, good luck for jump.
Thank you.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
All right, moving swiftly on into Dorian, the most recent overall world champion, and I'm excited to see what he can put down here. Stumbled through his toe run a little bit yesterday, so let's see if we can see a smooth run here from Dorian, wrapping up for the classic toe 5 back so quick as he moves through these first few tricks and setting up the rhythm nicely into toe 5 front. Tripped up there yesterday, but moving very well through here. Moving on into the toe lines, stomping that toe line now, moving into the toe line back. Gonna see a pair of toe line back-to-backs. Are we at the end? Beautiful. Are we gonna see toe line 5? No, he opts for the toe line front there at the end. I was hoping we'd see a toe line 5 there. You know, and it's I know it's tricky, toe line front, 380, you get the front and the side in. It's very minimal points, but I wanted to see a bit of an exclamation mark on the end of that. But, I mean, can you really, bar putting a toe line 5 in, can you ask for a better toe run?
It's very good. It's very good. And he has been, of course, like you said, doing the toe line 5. We saw him do it in Canada. Of course, he did it at the World Champs. But he's got a couple different runs. He's a bit of a technician, Dorian. I'm not sure anyone thinks more deeply or analytically about the overall event than Dorian does, and he will have felt, based on his current form, that was the sequence for him. He knows it's going to come down to jump. His job here in tricks is to go out, stand up 2 passes, post that big score. He probably isn't looking at a score that's going to challenge Joel, but it could be right there with Joel, and he just knows it's all going to come down to jump.
And this is where the head games really start to play, you know, it's kind of that moment is, what do you do? Do you go for it? You know, because if he goes for that toe line 5, maybe there's a couple more points there, and maybe it works, it pays off. But really, is the risk, say 200 points, worth falling on it and then probably tumbling all the way off the podium?
Right. And that's the other thing at play here is Dorian, of course, came out on top at the World Champs, but he struggled at the first 2 stops. He's sitting on 2/3. And so even if the wind may be starting to slip out of his grasp today, he doesn't want to finish 3rd. He wants to at least move up into 2nd. He'll be looking at the year-end season rankings. How does he get ahead of Louis on that? And so every point matters here out on the water. And of course, he's been pushing right up around 230. Joel had an off day and jump yesterday. It can happen. So
and everyone, and it's tricky because I sit in this announcing booth and I get my announcing head on and I start calling people out for not doing this, not doing that. It's the right move, you know, not doing that toe line 5. He struggled on it yesterday, like a lot of people did, and it's a fairly new trick, and I know he's had ups and downs with it, but it's been solid this year. So I do think realistically putting my skier head on, it's the smart play, and Dorian runs on momentum, he runs on drive. I mean, you saw him at Worlds, he just looks unstoppable, and he has to try and rebuild that. Say he falls on that toe line 5, that can take him to jump, you know. He's absolutely stomped a toe run there, smooth, efficient, and every single thing that he needed, really. You can't ask for anything else in a toe run. And it's going to give him some momentum. If he can stomp this hand run here, he's going to really feel like he's getting rolling into jump, but he has to stand up this hand run first, which is by no means a small feat.
Yeah, but consistency is Dorian's bread and butter. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more consistent trick skier than Dorian Llewellyn. I mean, it's been his claim to fame. It's what's done him so well in the overall event. It's what won him a world trick title. I mean, he's the guy, when everyone was struggling, that he went out and performed, and that's why he won that title 4 years ago. Consistency is why he won the world overall title a month ago, and so I think we're going to see nothing short of a full 20 seconds here from Llewellyn, the reigning world overall champion. Starts with these flips into the half jack. He's got springs for legs. He just pops off that wake. It's excellent here from Dorian Llewellyn. He's motoring through these flips. He'll finish here over the line. Big ski line 5 front. This is brilliant from Dorian Llewellyn. He'll have one more to finish, ski line back to back. And that's a great hand pass.
That's big, and it's funny. I ski a lot with Dorian. You know, we live in the same house when I'm in the US, and I know a lot of his sticking points. You know, and he just stomped that. I know that second ski line 5 and stomping ski line 5, ski line 5 after those flips is a big statement for him. And they were 2 clean ski line 5s, and I'll be very interested to see what that score pops out at. That's got to be mid high 11s. I think somewhere around the 11.6 range. As long as everything is a credit there, and Yeah, that's what he had to do. You know, he, again, runs on momentum. That is a great toe run, a great hand run. And I know he ended up a little bit frustrated in his slalom earlier, but he has to rebuild that momentum going into it. And I will be surprised if that ski line back-to-back's out of time. I guess there was a little bit of a catch there on the ski line. Maybe that first mob casing the wake.
Yeah, his flip sequence wasn't the fastest I've ever seen it, but boy, did he finish strong. And one thing I love about watching Dorian skiing is it's such a great example of the old adage that people I coach will be sick of hearing, but slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Because the tricks themselves through that ski line sequence, they're almost floaty.
Yeah.
They're not the fastest you've ever seen, but it allows him to transition seamlessly into the next trick.
Yeah.
And
it seems like...
No, we're still reviewing here. We're still reviewing. Will it be in time?
And it's kind of the what's it, death by 1,000 cuts there. But let's head to Dorian and see what he has to say.
Dorian, really beautiful trick run. I know you weren't as happy after the slalom, so you really wanted to stomp this one, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was all right. Unfortunately, I think I was a little slow. I know they were just talking about it. You know, it's floaty, it's pretty sometimes, but maybe I need to be a little faster. And you know, that toe line front being out, not ideal. And then hopefully scaling back-to-backs in, but maybe, we'll see. Either way, I put a score on the board. You know, you never know what's going to happen. And overall, Joel's going to be good in jump, I'm sure, but you know, I got to still put a score out for Louis, and we'll see what Joel does in jump, and then we go from there.
Oh, for sure. Hey, Regina asked for a Red Bull before she goes out to jump. I guess you should have one too.
Yeah, I mean, always a Red Bull is good before jump. Get the blood flowing, get going, and get excited. I mean, jump's the adrenaline-packed event. It looks awesome right now. So, if anything, we all need a little Red Bull to just get moving, and let's get jump going.
For sure. Thanks so much. Good luck with jump.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you, Curtis.
Good to hear there from Dorian, who's basically a couple of split-second timing decisions in the end of both passes have cost him about 800 points, 900 points, which that'll hurt because everything was on target there to be high 11s. He's cost it, but we might have a slight delay here. I hear there's a big weed patch we're investigating. I didn't realize Lucky Low was back on site, but I'm sure the safety team are all over that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one there for Dorian because no major mistakes, you know, maybe, and you can pinpoint like casing that wake on that first mob, you know, catching that tail on that ski line 5, landing maybe a little bit too big on that toe side front flip and on that half jack, and almost losing time as he rocks through that. And it's again, it is kind of a death by 1,000 cuts. There's no major problem, but just not able to quite fit it together smoothly, and I think that's going to be frustrating for him, and we're just seeing the weed patch get removed there. I think we're going to have to wait a second to see those waves gone, but yeah, it's unfortunate there for Dorian because, like you say, he's a couple of split seconds away from 11.8, you know, and that changes the structure of the day massively. But unfortunately,
for those who haven't, you know, trick judged or sat at a timing program, it really is frame by frame. And like I am picking, if you went and looked at that toe line front of that ski line back to back, it could be a single frame. That's the difference.
I don't know if it's 60 or 24 frames a second, but it literally, like you say, it's a 1/24th of a second that it gets.
So if their ski hasn't completely touched down, you can kind of tell by the spray pressure on the water at that exact end of the 20 seconds, that entire trick 0 points.
Yeah, and that's the real tricky part. And I know Dorian well, and I know he knows his runs like the back of his hand, and it's a shame to see that toe line front and the ski line back to back out, but it's going to hopefully feed him into that jump. And again, we know Louis, he is an incredibly strong tricker. He can put out at a 12.4 like no one's business, and I maybe would say, I mean, there's more consistent trickers out there, but we've seen him pop that 12.4 out here and there and put that big score out, and that's probably what he needs today to put some pressure on Joel.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at personal best, Louis would be top 5 of all time, perhaps. He's right up there.
Yeah, with the I think it's 12.520 or something. He even had one time when he got a back-to-back in time. So he is an incredible tricker, and I want nothing more than to see him stand up here and take the fight to the jump. Let's see. He starts with that toe 7. See him wrapping up there. Let's see what he can do. An incredibly fast tricker, but again, smooth smooth is slow, slow is fast, or whatever the phrase is, but going through toe back-to-backs, beautifully setting himself up. And this is all about building rhythm for those big toe lines to come. Toe echo, here we start to see him build into these bigger tricks. Toe line, no, toe line back. Seeing the toe line back-to-back. Going to see the reverse here as he sets up for the toe line 5 and gets caught off the wake. And a fall we see one too many times from Louis. Just gets on his heels from that toe line back-to-back, and I would say doesn't give himself the time to reset. There just isn't the time to reset. So he tries to send it and ends up just getting off axis on that takeoff, and that's tough to see there.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have an option, does he? It's right at the end of the 20 seconds. It's not like, oh, I can take a breath and I'll push something else at a time. It's now or never, and he wasn't quite in the right spot. He was just a little awkward, cramped up, and in the end wasn't able to execute that toe line 5 back. That'll cost him. He can still post a score up in the high 11s, maybe even knocking on the door of 12,000 points without that trick, but it means any chance he had of building a slight lead in tricks over Joel and regaining some of that ground he gave up in slalom is gone now. So it's about matching and not beating now for Louis.
And that's again, we kind of talk back to that mentality, and I think as someone who did single eventing for so long and kind of has dipped my toe back into the overall world, the head game's mental. You know, now he's stood on the back of that boat, and it's so easy to knock yourself down and be defeated, but he at the end of the day, he just has to go and do what he was going to do before. He has to stomp a hand run here and do what he can, because you never know what's going to happen. And the one event I wouldn't like left against Joel Poland is probably jump. Yeah. But at the end of the day, all it takes is a couple of slips, and we're seeing a whole different field. So he has to go there, get his mind right, and reset, and look for this stomped hand run here.
I mean, I think it's a beautiful illustration of why overall, you know, every point, every action matters, because he'll know exactly what he can now score, what his ceiling is with that fall.
To the point.
To the
right?
point.
To
and
the point.
Let's say it's 12,000 even.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's about that. He probably knows he cannot beat 12,160. If this was a pro trick event, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? It's done, right? Like, I mean, he can go out there and he can fight for second, and maybe there's some money for that, but his chance of winning would be over. But here, it's like, no, if I go out and do everything I can do, it keeps me in that hunt into jump. So absolutely, you know, every buoy, every trick, every jump matters. And it's one of the things I love about this format. And then the way we do prelim final, where the score's wiped, that's true. Anytime someone goes out on the water, everything they do matters. I mean, you do a lot of slalom tournaments, and I understand why the format is the skiers like it, but I gotta say, those best of 2 round formats, there's a lot of time on the prelims where frankly, what's happening may or may not matter for a particular skier. And I mean, it gets you the best skiers in the final. I think there's plenty to be said for it. But one thing that is unique about this format is there is not a single second of action on the water where there is not a lot riding on it.
Yeah, and an early fall in any event at any moment, even in the prelims, even for 10-time winner Joel, if he goes down early on a toe-wake back-to-back or on that toe-wake 5 at the start, he's not in the final. And like you say, every single second on the water matters. But let's see what Louis has here, rolling into hands. He's going to go big. Let's see if he can keep calm and just do what he needs to do.
I love this sequence from Louis. You know, he's going to start here with some flips, lightning fast, mob, half jack, into some half twists. Now he'll start to throw himself over the line. He's got one more flip to come, but he's going to throw some big ski line 5, and the ski line 5 front flip, and then rapid fire, ski line O, wake O, wake 5. Oh, that's a new one.
Nearly sucked the
inverted
tip
wake 5 back out of a ski line O, lightning quick. How cool. How cool.
It just sounds. Soft spots on probably all the edges you do.
Yeah, exactly. It's a soft spot in my skull. No, I spent an unhealthy amount of time trying to learn Pato fonts, inverted wake 5 front. No, I love that. That is so cool. What a way to finish. I hope it's in time. And I haven't seen that before from Louis.
No,
so
and that's when he's going for it. And there's so many things with, again, we're pinpointing the end of the run there, but there's so many things on that inverted wake 5. You open up the tip of the ski on the takeoff. You have to drag it through that water as long as you can to keep your momentum going outward bound while you spin the other way. You've then got to kind of cut that tip inches away from the water on that landing, and we saw him probably millimeters away. Using millimeters in America is probably not a good move, but getting
Fractions of an inch.
fractions of an inch away from the wake there, and that's what we want to see. That's the risk that he had to put down. And again, it kind of goes back to the Hail Mary move, you know. We see him throwing that wake 5 in. Yes, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but him going wake 5 instead of wake 8.
And how cool are those buzzer beater tricks, right? Like, I mean, Jake Abelson, I think, has the coolest in the front-to-front wake 7. Alexei Janasek used to actually end his run with that same trick at one point. And just that trick that you throw right at the end of the time, the buzzer beater, you may or may not land it, it may or may not be in time.
And
but
it's
you just
160, like you go, even just the fact it's a 310-point trick, but going over that wake 0 adds him another 160 points above that. So
I think we're making the transition towards jump, but first let's hear from Louis Dupont freeboard. Converted wake 5 back out of a ski line 0, lightning quick.
Oh, I'm not quite sure we've got Louis down there yet, but we're starting to see them setting up for that jump event. And did we maybe hear the whisperings of a 12,000 point run there from Louis? That would be incredible. If
yeah, for sure. And it's new for you, right? You used to do it.
Yeah. This is like the 3rd time I'm landing in tournament this year.
Nice.
But first year I'm putting in, so yeah, I've been working a lot on that.
Oh, for sure. Great. Yeah. Hey, I asked Joel that question too. So not so often that you're last off the dock this year, at least.
Yeah.
Do you like it better? Do you not like it as much?
Yeah, no, whatever. I just focus on me. Didn't work out for slalom, but worked out for trick. So yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's say finals is another day, so everyone gets the same opportunity.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's go jump.
Yeah, let's go jump. Let's get it.
Good luck. Back to you, Curtis.
Okay, well, incredible skiing from Louis Dupont freeboard, and it's been a pleasure, Rob, to have you in the box. It certainly gives me a break. You've got no shortage of things to say. We're going to take a short break, and very soon we'll be underway with the jump event. Going to be an exciting finish, a photo finish. Don't step away for too long. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here at the 2025 World WaterSkiers Fluid Cup.
Okay, very quick break there. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen on this planet is Jack Critchley in a jet ski switching events. That's That's a minute difference between tricks finishing and jump ending. And
it's good. It seems to me like he's perhaps been studying some old Moomba tapes. Of course, they famously used to change course in the ad break. And I don't know what your standard ad break is. It's probably 30 seconds to a minute. But I think Jack's a student of the sport, and he's been studying those tapes, working hard, and he's looking. Actually, the Moomba team did put out an announcement. They're getting older, the Moomba team. They're looking for some apprentices, and I think Jack Critchley should throw his name in the mix.
I think he needs to get down there and get after it.
Go international.
Wildly impressive, and not giving these skiers any moment to rest and break there. And we were correct. Your hearing was good. We have a 12,010 point score from Louis. So essentially what you're seeing is world record almost level. If he puts that toe line 5 down, hypotheticals, obviously he fell, but if he puts that toe line 5 down, I know he goes toe line 5, toe line front incredibly quickly.
That's a 13,000 point run, right?
That's a 13 plus thousand. Oh no, yeah, 12.9 point run. So incredible stuff there. And I'm going to hand you over to a much more qualified announcer than me, and I'll.
Yeah, incredible skiing from Louis, and that's shaping up to be a right down to the wire battle on the men's side. But we are underway now with women's jump. First up will be Alia Jung-Hannefer, who I think has been one of the biggest improvers in women's jump over the past couple seasons. And it is a pleasure to be joined here in the booth with none other than Freddie Krupke.
Well, thank you for having me. And I agree. I do think she's one of the most improved women's jumpers here. I was very impressed at how she looked at the Worlds this year. And obviously she's carrying that through as we see her here at the 600. And we're going to look for her to get aggressive today. She's been a little off on the other events, so she's looking to make up a little ground here. Get in the course. Nice and on the corner. Good resistive lift. That's a nice first jump.
Yeah, and I think what you'll see from some of these younger skiers that are coming, they're right in the middle of the collegiate season. I expect them to lift today because last weekend, I know Alia, I know Kenna later on, jumped at the college settings of 51K, 32 miles an hour, 5 foot. They're going to do it again in a couple days at the college nationals. And I don't think they had a lot of practice, maybe no practice, up at 33, 5.5. And I think we saw that in some of the lower distances from these girls in the qualifying round. I expect to see Alia lift from jump to jump here.
Yeah, and I think as you change that speed, the load, if you will, as they come out of the turn, affects them a little differently. The skis don't want to track across the lake quite as easy. You load up so much quicker. And you'll kind of see here I would say she's being a little bit defensive, and she's pointing the skis a little more at the ramp. We saw her hit the corner there, but I wouldn't necessarily think that where she turned from, she was that late. So I think that's a little more of a target aim than it is a directionalized drive and land in that same spot on the ramp. So what I want to see her do here is maybe with a little more speed and width into that turn, finish the turn a little more cross-course direction, and then still hit the ramp in that great spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And starting well, I mean, there's plenty to work on, like you said, but that jump there, jump number 1, already a foot further than she went yesterday. So building from strength to strength is the young Malaysian, Alia Jung-Hanifa, in her first tour finals here on the World Water Skiers overall tour. She started well. Can she build here? Can she get a little bit more free of the boat, build some speed on jump number 2? This is another good jump. I felt like it was maybe a little tense through the ramp and didn't get that full extension.
Yeah, better speed into the turn, a little better direction across. Still hitting the ramp in I would say somewhat of an ideal position, but you could see the skis just slide a little bit across the ramp. She squared up to the ramp, which I want to see her keep driving through, and we've got that big white X here on the ski fluid jump. I want to see her really drive to get to that X so she stays between her skis and gets that finished pull off the top. And there, if she can do that, I think there's another couple meters sitting there for her.
Absolutely. That jump landing at almost exactly the same distance, just a touch back as jump number 1. But we saw her jump up over 50 meters for the first time at the World Championship. She made that final. And we've talked about it a few times throughout this event, but she has been a real standard bearer for Asian water skiing, setting history many times throughout the last, it feels like she's been at major events, at least regionally. I got to see her a bit in Asia Oceania since she was about 8 or 9 years old.
Yes.
And she came on the scene as a tricker. That was what she was known as primarily for years and years and years. But in the last 2 or 3 seasons, she has just come along leaps and bounds. And I think you'd have to say jump is now her best event.
Well, we had a World Cup stop in Malaysia, and I saw her when she was very young in that, probably a little older than that, 9, 10 years old, and she was tricking. And it was very impressive then, but I agree with you. I think these last couple of years, the collegiate skiing and being around some of her peers, you tend to see them make big leaps, and we're looking for a big leap here. This is a good cut. Oh, no!
Well, I think she's okay. We'll wait on a wave. That's tough. It was a late pass. She clipped the corner. She looks okay. But here, we're pretty tight to the bank. And
we are. We actually had the Mastercraft Pro a 3 weeks ago at Isles of Lake Hancock. And she, unfortunately, had a similar situation where she passed on the 3rd jump and kind of got sat down on the tails of the skis and skis up into the weeds there as well. So thankfully, in both instances, looks to be moving well. She handled that very well. Glad to see she's okay. I liked that cut. And I think to your point, if maybe if she wasn't transitioning back and forth from the collegiate speeds and ramp heights, that's a cut she's comfortable with, and then I think that's where we see that push to the 50 meters.
I'm very excited to watch her at the Collegiate Nationals next week. I think her and Kennedy Hansen their best scores from the collegiate season this year are about a foot of each other. So that battle in our Centro next week is going to be epic. And, you know, I'm sure she'll get hopefully a set or two back down.
Yeah.
I always felt like it was easier to go down than up.
Absolutely.
So hopefully she'll make that transition. That's going to be one to watch next week. It's a big month for water skiing, of course. We've got this happening today. We've got the Collegiate Nationals next week. And then the tour finals of the overall tour on October 26th, I believe. So the following weekend. So it's all happening. And now we move right along in women's jump. We've got Giannina Bonneman-Meckler, who after slalom and trick is effectively tied with Regina.
Oh.
If you look at this, there's 5 overall points separating them. That's
Yeah.
nothing. That's 10 centimeters in jump. So for her to get ahead of Regina, it's going to be basically a straight jump off. And that's tough to say because throughout all of 2025, if you take a broad look, Regina has been the better jumper of these next 3 girls. I think that's fair. But Regina's a little bit underdone. She hasn't jumped since the World Championships. She did have the lead jump score yesterday, but I think particularly with Kennedy Hansen also adjusting to the faster speed and ramp height and Giannina pulling some things together, this could be very interesting. This is Kennedy's to lose right now. She has a big lead after slalom and tricks, but we know what Giannina and Regina are capable of for jump ramp, so anything could happen still.
Well, and I feel like Giannina still, as weird as it sounds, as we finish up the year, I still feel like she's finding her feet in the jump event, coming back from having the baby. And I'm expecting her, you know, I have high expectations for her. So I'm looking for her to bring this together and put out a big jump.
Yeah, she's so strong, so compact, has such a great jump technique. She drives in now. Jump number 1, yeah, carries well through that. That's a really good opening jump. I wouldn't be surprised if that's further already than she jumped yesterday.
I agree, and I will say this too. Yesterday when she jumped, it was blistery. The wind was up. The conditions were, they were intimidating, I think is the right word. So I think that's a great opening jump. She didn't, I know when she gets a good one, there's a little bounce in the landing, right? She was a little conservative there on the landing.
Yeah, and it's already further than we saw her go yesterday.
Yeah.
49.1 meters, 161 feet. But I want to, in the past, I don't know if she's quite been 180 feet, but she's certainly been in the mid to high 170s. She was a very consistent 50-meter jumper. That first jump, 49.1. Like you said, she's building. It takes a long time to come back from something like that. I think she opened the season in tricks really strongly, and that sort of continued. Although she has had some consistency issues, it's there. The slalom and jump is building and building with each event. Huge slalom score today, right? Like post motherhood personal best. Could we see the same thing in jump? I think it's all aligning.
Well, yeah, I think it's there, and I also think that when you get a big slalom score like that, you know, she was still strong in tricks, but when you get those big slalom scores and you're an overall skier and then jumps your best event, you don't want to waste that slalom score, right? So she's got this added incentive to go ahead and turn the dial up there. That was a good conservative opener right where she needs to start, but now we got to turn the intensity up. We got to push this a little bit on the timing. This is a better spot. Oh. She didn't like it.
Yeah, well.
She didn't like it.
She started well. She's got one more jump to come. She's got that freedom. The pressure hasn't built. And frankly, she is chasing a big jump score because she knows she's basically in a straight shootout with Regina for probably what's going to end up being second place. Or if she wants to really put pressure on Kenna, you know, she's got to put about 4, almost 5 meters on Kenna. So maybe that she felt like, okay, I don't feel great. This is maybe that 50 meter, but she's looking for that 52.
Yeah, and I think, again, I like the speed she carried to the turn. As I'm assuming she was a little late there by how early she passed. And by passing that early, releasing the rope that fast off the wakes, she had made her mind up out of the turn. That wasn't a off the second wake decision, which honestly at this level of jump is you don't really have much room for. So, but my point there was she was a little bit uncomfortable with the timing on that right out of the turn. So she's got 2 choices. She backs up a touch and stays, you know, aggressive off the second wake, or she pushes into that same area, but is a little more aggressive with the finish of the turn.
So I often find that when you make that decision to pass in the turn because you think you're too late, but you still obviously hold it through the wake. Sometimes you feel like, actually, I would have been okay, but you've already committed to passing, right? So it's going to happen. And so it's possible that she's found that spot and she thinks, you know what, that wasn't so bad after all.
Right. And I think we could see a little more finish of the turn here, and she'd have the confidence to hold that.
Here we go. Third and final for Giannina. She's got the speed. She leant out over it. Was an upper body crush. It could end up being her longest jump yet, but she couldn't quite connect.
She left some, obviously, on the table there, but I feel like that was a better cut. I do think she's going to squeak out a little more distance and push up closer to that 50 meters.
Yep, seeing a distance on the scoreboard at 166 feet, so that's up over 50.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a good jump from her, and that's, keeps things interesting here for both Regina and Kennedy. So as it stands right now, Regina Jacquis next up. For her to take the lead, she needs to jump 50 meters, basically 49.9, 164 feet. And Kennedy Henson needs to jump close to 45, which, look, Kennedy's well capable of it, but it's not easy. And Regina, she has the ability to push that asking rate up a little bit. So that would be one of Giannina's biggest jumps post-pregnancy. I would have to guess it might be her biggest. I think she's pulled it out when it mattered.
Yeah, and I think, again, as the takeaway, when she goes back and she watches this footage, she'll have a lot of confidence in how much distance she left on the table. Now, that's an extremely frustrating place to be, but at the same time, find the positives, right? Like, hey, there's mid-70s in there pretty easy if she can finish that cut and get that ramp work. But, listen, this is why we play the game, right? And so what did Regina jump yesterday?
She jumped 155.
155 on a three-quarter.
On a three-quarter.
Okay, so the big question in my mind today is, because she hasn't had much jump, is she going to stay with the three-quarters? If she does, that, what did you say she's going to need?
164.
That's going to push pretty hard on a three-quarter.
It's probably right at the edge of how far she can go on a three-quarter.
I think that's a fair statement. I mean, I've seen her
certainly a two-handed. We're talking two-handed three-quarter as well, right? Like, not a lot of width.
I don't know. So then you open up the questionable can of, do I go ahead and double to give myself a better chance, give myself some room for error, if you will, but you're also adding some timing issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with Regina, it's funny because she wasn't entered in this. She didn't plan on competing. We were sort of peer pressuring her all day on Saturday. Come on, Regina, do it. We want to see you out there. I think what's funny with Regina is I'm not sure that she has that lower gear. No. I think when she goes out, she is going out to win no matter what. And so, I don't think we're going to see anything left on the table here.
No, and that's my curiosity here and I'm watching her come around, and she's sitting on the left side of the wake. So we're going doubles, and you just hit the nail on the head. She has a competitive fire in her. She hates to lose as much or more than anybody that's ever played the game. So she is double cutting, and she's going for the win.
Yep, so 164 feet or 50 meters will take the lead, and she'll want to build past that as she turns, sets herself jump number one. Yeah, kind of similar to Giannina, an upper body crush. She was pushing there. She wasn't far off that corner.
No.
But it's a good opening jump.
Yeah, great opening jump. Again, keeping in mind, that's probably the first double here in at least a couple weeks. So 164.
It's going to come down to the meters.
It is.
And she's done just enough to take the lead on jump number one. And
Unreal.
Meanwhile, let's check in dockside.
All right. Unfortunately, we just heard that Regina's taken the lead from you. Tough time to start an interview, but I know you left a little bit out there on that last jump with that slip. How does that feel?
It's all right. It was actually not a bad set. The first one was maybe a little early. The second one, I kind of got into the course and had to pass on that one. But the last one was a good spot. I still rushed the turn a little bit, but overall I missed the kick on the jump. But overall, that could have been really a good jump set and really far. So I'm just looking forward to the couple of weeks to come, and hopefully we can get one together at Jack's.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that, that's for sure. Let's head back to Regina and see if she can put a little more distance up there, but thank you.
Spot, I still rushed the turn a little bit,
jump
but
number one
overall,
does just enough
missed the kick
by
on the
10
jump,
centimeters
but,
to take the lead in this overall
that
battle,
could have
but
been
she will know
really a
on the
good
dock is
jump
still
set
Kennedy
and really
Hansen.
far.
Kennedy has a big lead after Slalom and Trick. Can she push up in as she turns, sets herself, drives now into the base of the ramp, building speed. This is better from Regina. She may have milked out just a little bit more. Freddie's not quite as sure.
Definitely a more aggressive cut. But Regina is at her best when that ramp work is solid, right? And she definitely crushed a little bit on that. I think we might have kind of traded the witch for the devil.
Yeah, she's lost just a foot. So we've
Yeah.
landed in pretty much the same hole.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, she combines those two jumps. If she puts the kick from jump one with the speed of jump two, Kennedy could feel some pressure.
Yeah, so as it stands right now, Kennedy needs 45 meters. That's about 150 feet. 148 feet
Yeah.
she needs. Look, Kennedy has to work for that, but I think she should coast in, even with the chopping and changing speeds and ramp heights. But if Regina goes out, jumps 170, 175, I mean, we saw her go 180 at the Worlds. That a lot more training building up that event.
Sure.
So I'm not expecting that. But if she can add another meter or two here, that just lifts that asking rate for Kennedy a little bit to where Kennedy has to string together a good jump all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I think, and Regina has played this game long enough to know that, Kennedy is still young. Kennedy's very hungry. But what she's really wanting to do here is get just enough of a splinter into Kennedy's. Sometimes you can jump just that wrong distance where they got to go hard enough to get it and not miss it by going too easy. And that's a little bit of what Regina needs here. But she's going to need to get into the low 70s. I'd like to see a 175. A little slow in the turn. Oh, no.
Heart in the mouth stuff.
Yeah.
She came very far forward off the top of that ramp, and she really never actually looked in any major trouble. But for a second there, I thought we were in trouble.
She's very strong, obviously, and when she's slow in the turn, she tends to start leaning over that left ski into the bottom, and that lunge forward over the left ski. Nobody handles it any better than she does, but it stole the energy.
Yeah, so 164, that was the mark we set. As she left the dock, she needed to take the lead, and she jumped 164. She did exactly that. She has taken the lead. She has 4 overall points ahead of Giannina, Bonham, and Meckler. That's nothing. That's any increment, a quarter of a buoy in slalom, a 10 centimeters in jump, a side slide and tricks. And now Kennedy Hansen, top seed, last off the dock. She has a chance to win her second tour stop of the season and build on that lead she already has in the tour standings. If she wins this event, you'd have to look at it, but I don't know that Giannina has a pathway to catching her in the year-end standings. Giannina has 2 second finishes. Looks like she's going to end up probably with a third today.
Yeah.
And if Kennedy has 2 seconds, a third already, I don't know that she can be caught. So Kennedy could put the season title to bed, we think, with a jump of 148 feet or 44.9 meters here.
Which, again, very attainable. I would expect her to be able to do this. But, again, it's why we play the game. You got to go out there and, I kind of want to see how she handles this first jump. Does she come out and attack, or does she get a little conservative and try to sneak up on it? I would prefer to see her come out and be aggressive like she was yesterday, attack the ramp, get it done, and get it done early in the set.
So yesterday, she went just a shade over 150. She went almost 46 meters. She is another one of these skiers who has been chopping and changing speed. So last weekend, she jumped collegiate settings at the South Central Regional. She'll be back down again next week. Looks like she is opting for a 3/4 cut, Freddie. So she is still feeling out 33 miles an hour, it seems like.
And that's what she did yesterday? Yeah, so I think she's riding the confidence of yesterday and a little better conditions today.
That's going to be close. That's, nothing spectacular about that jump, but it could be the 148 feet she needs. It's going to be right up around there, I think.
It's like these girls are target jumping.
Oh, she's done it. She's 151 feet. Kennedy Hansen has done just enough to take the lead, to take the win. Her second pro victory of the year, and probably the season title as well. So really that came from her trick skiing. She had a bizarre day in slalom. I don't know if you saw that, Freddie. That's one of the weirdest things I'd ever seen.
I did see it. And that's one of those once in a lifetime things. Probably has never done it in practice even, and probably never will again. It's a truly freak deal. I've seen it happen, a number of times throughout my career, being obviously on the side of a lot of lakes. Usually you will see a slightly different situation where the ski, maybe bites on an overturn and shoots them across. It looks like they're going for 7-ball, right? And they missed the gates on the wrong side or something. But she was trying so hard to react to it, and she went down. But obviously still enough with that strong trick score to keep her in the game here and take the title.
Yeah, such strong tricking from her. That was where this title was won. And she's won it now. Interesting to see what she does. I think if it were you out there, Freddie, I think we know what you'd do. But she is young, and she's probably enjoying these conditions. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her try push out a little further. She's got a lot left in the tank. That looked easy for her.
It did, and she definitely didn't get it all there. It wasn't quite as smooth and as nice as some of the jumps yesterday. So I think she's wanting to...
passes, but she skis back to the middle.
Yeah,
now it's possible she may not know.
That's true.
Because it's pretty tight. It's a tight margin, but she has won. She has done just enough by a few feet in the end. So great skiing. Congratulations to her. Her second victory of the season. And by all accounts, that will be enough to take out the season championship. Great skiing from the youngster, only 22 years of age. I think this is her first year up out of the under-21 ranks, and has been a huge season, a big personal best in all 3 events. She cracked 10,000 points in trick for the first time. The World Champs, she jumped 50 meters for the first time. I think slalom was a PB as well. She ran midway through 10.75, 13.5 off. So she is very quickly maturing into one of the best overall skiers in the world.
Yeah, and we've heard her name for a little while. It's surprising to me to hear that she's only 22 years old. That's because I've heard her name. Again, being an American, I think she's been coming up through the junior ranks. I've heard her name for quite a while. But again, the tricky part of being a really good overall skier is not being able to do the scores. It's being able to do all the scores when it matters in the one round. This weekend they have to do it, right? They got to do it in the prelims, and they got to show up and do it in the finals. And she's proving to be that consistent skier across the board, and I think that's really, a good light and a good sign for her future.
And 2 personal best world champs. That's a big match player written all over it, right? I mean, that is incredible. As she comes in now, her third and final jump, she's going to pass it, and she did enough on jump number 1. So congratulations to Kennedy Hansen. She takes the tour stop, and she takes the season title. We'll get the jump scores updated in those results. And, it's a shame that we didn't have Hannah Streltsova this weekend. We should speak to that. She did win the last stop, and she, of course, she won the World Champs. She's out with a bit of an injury. We're hoping to see her back at the 4th stop, but with only attending 2 events, she won't be able to take that season title. And Kennedy Hansen, who very nearly beat her at the Worlds, is a deserving winner. And I believe we will be checking in with your champion, Kennedy Hansen.
Unfortunately not the champion. Here with Regina, 2nd place. I mean, that's insane. You have not done that much skiing since Worlds, on the jump skis especially. How does it feel?
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm glad that, they motivated me to get out here. Next time, we can have Marion and June, who I've been skiing overall with. Come on, ladies. Marion, June, come out. Oh, no. These are our overall girlies that I have skied overall with my whole life, and they may come out of retirement for the next overall, right? Come on. So
I've seen June on a trick ski, which is
just as bad as you, apparently.
To come where? To the overall?
Yeah.
Overall what? Senior overall?
No.
No, this one.
This one?
We all want you back out on the skis, ladies. Come on.
I want y'all out there with me still.
All right, we are going to move on to the men. Huge congratulations to Kenna there for getting what we've done. And don't we all want to see Marion and June back on the skis? But let's see what the men can put down.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, and great to hear from Regina. And it was a pleasure to have Freddie the Nightmare Kruger in the booth. But moving right along, we've got the man of the site himself. It's a good afternoon to Kylie.
Thanks, Curtis. Yeah, no, excited to just join you here for the last little bit. I've been up doing a bit of judging, but now getting to just sit back and relax and call the action of the men's jump to finish out this WWS overall tour, and some exciting stuff going on. Congrats to Kennedy Hansen for picking up the women's. And Alex Yaskiel having the tournament of his life, coming in for jump number 1.
Yeah, let's see how he adjusts back up to 57K. He struggled yesterday. This looks like a aggressive opening jump. Plenty of carry, and I think that's already right up what we saw from him yesterday. He jumped just a shade over 180 feet yesterday.
I believe so,
and he was a little disappointed with that.
Yes, yeah, he's a strong jumper. Obviously, he slalomed out of this world for him. You know, he had the top score yesterday, 3 at 39 to make it in. He tricked unreal, up around 10,000 points, and he's done the same today. So jumps is probably his event that's lacking a little bit, but the conditions are perfect today. It was a little blustery yesterday. Maybe that held him back. And also, like you said, the collegiate skiing, jumping 51, 5 foot, you know, kind of is a bit of a change.
And starting strong with a 54-meter effort. So not quite as far as he went yesterday, but he built into that distance by the end of his set yesterday. He's already picked up there, and I think we'll see him build and build with a couple more jumps. I mean, it's a tough thing, chopping and changing speeds, and like you said, tournament of his life. So that 3 at 10.75, that was a personal best for him yesterday. So he was out in a field where everyone was struggling. We saw, you know, Rob Hazelwood go down early at 39. We saw Joel Poland go down early. And Alex went out and skied a personal best. And that's why he's in this final.
Ripped it, 38 tailwind, came back 3 at 39. Yeah, top score yesterday. And he went back and repeated today. He had a great slalom score. Obviously, conditions were better today, but went out there and repeated a strong trick score. And he's sitting pretty good there in the overall too. And now it's his turn to jump. Jumper, yeah, like we said, is a little bit of his weak event, but starting with a 179, let's see what he's got. Jump 2.
Okay, the young Austrian, been skiing down in Louisiana, Lafayette. Load sets himself up now for his second attempt. He's got a good deal of speed. He comes off it well. I think he got a little more float that time. And
I think you're right,
Curtis. Could be. That's going to be a little bit further on jump number 2. Just every jump is getting a little bit better.
The intensity level is just down a little bit from what you'll probably see from our other jumpers, I think. But he's upping it each and every jump. He's a little bit early to the bottom. Beautiful ramp work, came off, got some good lift, floated it down the lake. It's a pretty jump, but what do you think? Just bring it down?
I mean, you got it, right? You're in your first, probably his first pro finals of his career.
It is, yeah.
And everything on the line. I mean, look, is he going to challenge for the top spot? Probably not, but he can move up from the 5th that was maybe expected to a 4th, even a 3rd, depending on how things play out. That is just a little bit further again, 182 feet, 55.6. So he's gained a meter and change, and that's about as far as he went yesterday. But I think there's a 190, there's a 59, knocking on the door of 60 on the cards here if he really gets it all together.
Yeah, I think that's what he's looking for today is push up near his personal best and, you know, put some pressure on the guys to come. It's obviously going to be pretty tough for him to catch the Joel Polands, the Dorian Llewellyns or Louis. Tobias, you know, he's ahead of him in tricks. He tied him up in slalom, but Toby has a pretty big jump in him. He's going to be struggling to catch him, but who knows?
Great experience, and of course he'll be over the moon because his girlfriend just took home a bit of a paycheck.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he's happy customer because nothing will make you more upset than an upset girlfriend. So Alex Yaskiel comes in, third and final jump,
right.
Looking to see if he can't push. Oh, he lets it go.
Too late, maybe. Yeah, he's slapping it. He said, yep, that was the one. He shouldn't have let it go, maybe. But he's been out there. He's got a result on the board and a great overall score for Alex Yaskiel to start this final event off the jump, the open men's jump. Now the ramp's going to be going up to 6 foot. The remaining 4 competitors all at the full 1.8, 6 foot height. And the distances are going to just increase from here.
Okay, let's check in with your women's champion, this time for real, Kennedy Dockside.
Kenna, absolutely awesome skiing out there. You put on a show out there. You know, you put everything on the line for that slalom score, and just had a pretty phenomenal day. How does it feel to put down yet another win?
It feels amazing. It's been a great year so far. I couldn't be happier.
That's what we like to hear. So obviously moving into Jacks in a couple of weeks, what's the game plan? Are we going to see a little more? Are we going to see front flips? What are we going to see in a couple of weeks?
Well, definitely a front flip for sure. Got to get some more trick points, just more buoys, not do what I did today, and get better at jump. I got to start doing doubles, got to catch up to these girls. They're jumping far, so I have a lot of work to do in jump.
I love it. That's what we like to see, just the continuous pursuit of getting better and putting your name on this overall field. So fantastic skiing, and can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
To hear from her, and congratulations. So great to be joined here in the box by you, Kiwi. You probably missed it because you're busy officiating, but we started this with I put together a bit of a montage of some of the incredible moments that this site has played host to over the past decade or so. I mean, you think about even just within the WorldWaterSkiers overall tour, we've had Joel's world record, we've had some incredible battles on the water, but going back further into other events, I mean, Jacinta Carroll's 200-foot jump.
That's one of the big ones.
One of the big ones. There's been, I mean, I don't know how you measure this, but I think 3 world records currently held on the site. You've got Jacinta's jump, Jake's trick, and Hannah's overall record.
Yeah, and obviously we actually go under 21 overall record. Kennedy Hansen has it here. She may have improved it since then, but it was broken here last year as well.
But so 3 of the 8 overall world records, and then, I mean, forgetting countless records that have been set here over the years. You go back, even a decade ago, Natalia Berdnikava and others set a whole bunch of others, through. So, I mean, we'll talk more about that in a moment, but I think we're going to check in with, I'm sure I'm still very happy, Alex Kishiel.
Yep.
Rookie move with the mic there. Here with Alex, an amazing weekend. Put together kind of your thoughts on the weekend. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Making the final, how does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, really great. Yesterday kind of tough conditions, but got the job done. Kind of struggling in jump, just moved back up to 57 on Tuesday because of the collegiate season. So kind of felt more comfortable today. Last jump felt great, like the spot and everything was perfect. Just didn't have the courage to take it, so that really got me super mad. But yeah, no, I mean, I can't be mad with this weekend, and I'm really happy I put it all together.
No, it's phenomenal to watch you out there, and you can just save that last jump for the next couple of weeks out there in Jacks, and I'm excited to see you back, put on a performance like you did this weekend, and I'm sure you'll do plenty good. So let's see what we have next on the water.
Thank you. Great to hear from Alex. Yes, like I was saying, I mean, incredible moments that have happened at this site over the years. Some of the most iconic moments in water ski history. I mean, you're here every day, you're running a business here, a ski school, you're sort of looking at the grounds. As we watch Tobias Georges come and jump #1, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to pull together these events and throw these scores together.
Yeah, well, let's watch Toby have his first jump. He jumped really well yesterday. I think he went 210 feet. Looks strong as he cuts in here on jump #1. The ramp up at full 6 foot, and he floats one down. That's going to be longer than Alex. We don't know how far yet. It'll come through shortly. It may snatch the overall lead from him. But yeah, a lot of work goes into it, Curtis. As you know, running water ski tournaments is a lot of work. But it's a team effort, and we're really fortunate here with the officials that come in, the team that gets behind us, the work with Action Watersports, with Mastercraft. Everybody kind of gets behind us, and we try to put everything on to favour the skiers, and that's what produces some of these great results. And just really happy to be able to provide the venue for WorldWaterSkiers to come in here and do their job and run such a cool event like this pro overall tour. So yeah, we're honoured, and we really appreciate being a part of it.
Yeah, it takes a village, that's for sure, and such a great dedicated group of volunteers, everything from judging to scoring to safety to driving to start dock. Jack Critchley out there with some Moomba style course changes. I mean, it's
we like to see Jack on the water, but we'll take it when he's out here helping us running a tournament too. He's invaluable, as with all of our officials here, and the support behind the scenes with the WorldWaterSkiers crew and the eye trick. You know, you saw that earlier, unreal
Incredible,
system, and pumping out the scores. I was lucky to be a part of that, and kind of assist in getting these trick results out. So straight away, everyone knew what it's going to take to go ahead.
So 195 to open for Tobias Georges on the water. I think he was too early, Carl. Frankly, I think he's going to need to bring things down, carry up more speed.
That's always the next, when you get a nice little tidy one you first, you got to say, hey, yep, bring it down, and he has. That's going to be longer.
So I think that was the speed. That was probably the spot. He didn't quite get the same extension as he did on jump number 1. So it should still be further, but I mean, we know what this young man's capable of. He jumped 210 in qualifying yesterday, and around a jump where conditions were a little bit challenging. We had a swirly cross breeze. That jump there, though, Kyle, 209.
209 on jump 2, and you said he didn't get his lift right.
I mean, I think there's a 220 on that same cut if he just gets it together.
We saw him at the Worlds. I think he launched a 217. He sneaked into the final there. There was some huge jumping from everybody at the Worlds, but he jumped well. So his personal best somewhere up close to 220 feet, and we'd love to see him sort of surpass that mark, and that would bump his overall score up huge. He's in the lead right now. He's outstretched it in front of Alex, but you know, with the 3 remaining, he knows he's got to go quite a bit further.
Yeah, he's probably looking at a 4th place finish, barring a major upset, but geez, for his own confidence, he would love to push out a big score. And, you know, there's sort of bragging rights on the line as well. Like, he could come away today with the biggest jump score if things go really well for him here. So he'll want to push one out. He's got a 220, a 67-odd meter jump in the books. We know it can come. He had the cut there. He didn't quite get full extension and connection off that ramp. So he's going to make some little adjustments. I'm sure he's got Pat O'Font spotting for him as well. And we'll see how it goes here on jump number 3.
All right, let's cheer him on, guys. Those on site, let's get behind him as he comes in. This is his third and final attempt. He's got a 63.7 meter jump. He's leaving this one as late as he possibly dares. This is a lot of speed. Powering in, do too much. We saw Alex do the same. Maybe just trying to go that little extra too much on jump number 3 and said, you know what, I'm going to save that for another day.
Yep, so he will finish up most likely in 4th place. He has the lead right now with 3 jumpers still to come. But you would expect, barring a major upset, all 3 of them to out-jump the scores they need. They came out of tricks with commanding leads. And the next skier, Joel Poland, he is looking down the barrel of an incredible 11th consecutive victory on the WorldWaterSkiers overall tour. He's been undefeated since the Fluid Cup in 2022. That's over 2 years ago now. And such a strong performance across slalom and tricks. It means for not the first time, there could be something in the making if he throws together a big jump.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, it's pretty exciting that he didn't have the best round yesterday, so he's actually seeded out kind of early here for us. So it's kind of a little bit of a different structure to some of the other overall events where he goes out last and posts his big jumps. He's out 3rd to last. He's notched up a 2 at 41, a 12,160, so he's got a clean 2,000 points in this competition so far. And I'll tell you what, he's on track for a world overall record here. If he can jump close to what he has in the past, we're calculating 69.5 meters, just shy of 230 feet. I think that's 228, 229, somewhere there. And he will take his own overall record. I know he would dearly love to do it. He's done it pretty much every year so far. It's his record from last year that still stands. I think it was at a WorldWaterSkiers event last year that he got it, the Travers Cup. He would love to get it back, and obviously behind the Mastercraft, which is his sponsored boat.
He just finds a way, and I think one thing I love is obviously Joel's broken a lot of records, but he's broken a lot of records at big events, right? So cast your mind back all the way 4 years ago. He broke that record at the World Championships.
Yep.
Then in 2023, I think in 2 consecutive weekends, he broke a record here at the Tour Finals, the WorldWaterSkiers Cup. He did it at the Malibu Open, I think, a week later. And then last year, he broke it in actually 3 consecutive rounds. There was a tournament here, an amateur tournament, and then in both the prelims and the finals of the WorldWaterSkiers Travers Cup, he broke it. And that's where the current record sits, in the finals of the Travers Cup. So, I mean, he just finds a way in big competitions to find that extra gear.
He does, yeah. And he is riding away with confidence through all of his events. As he comes in at jump number 1, you'll see him push things even later than what we saw at Tobias. Big turn, drives in hard here into the bottom. And beautiful jump, number one. Floats it down. How far was that?
It's a good jump. He's not overly excited. Sometimes Joel doesn't know, but usually he lets you know it when he jumps well. I wouldn't be surprised if that's 220 feet on jump number one. It was a good jump. I don't think it's quite what he needed. Score coming through 223. What a platform to build from.
How easy was that, though? Yesterday, yeah, he went right around the same, maybe just a shade, a tad underneath that. The conditions were kind of a bit squirrely. The wind today, so much better, kind of light, not much of a headwind out there, which obviously the skiers would prefer a little bit more, but still conditions to go big jumps. You got Scott Ellis behind the wheel, Mastercraft 6.2 litre, gassing them along. Things are gonna go big here in just a second.
All right, I know you wanted a little bit more out there. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It was pretty good conditions to jump. Second one was really good. Had too much speed, I couldn't handle, but yeah, I'm happy.
That last one, was there some thoughts of taking it, or was it just a little bit too much?
No, when I turned, I knew I wasn't going over. It was too much.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, but hey, it's been a great weekend for you. I'm excited to see where you end up after these three are done, but fantastic skiing. Are we going to see you at Jack's?
Not really. No.
Oh, that's a shame. I love seeing you ski out there. Those handle dunks are amazing to watch. Let's go see if Joel can go break this world record.
Let's go.
Okay, so eyes back on the water, folks. Joel Poland, he has won the event on jump number one, but he is 2 meters shy of a new world record as he turns, edges, drives off the base of the ramp. Could this be it? It's another big jump from Joel Poland. Ooh.
You say he knows. Let's see his reaction as he stands up out of that one.
He's not sure. He's not willing to celebrate. I think that he's eked out some more distance. 230 feet. Joel Poland has just set yet another world overall record.
Ladies
and he just
gentlemen,
finds
look
a
at him.
way.
As he comes back down the lake, fist in the air, history in the making right here at the Fluid Cup. That is sensational. He needed 69.5. I would say that's 70.1. He's beaten it by a couple feet from what he needed. And insane skiing from Joel Poland. Right here, you saw it. The world overall record in the women's was set here in June. That goes to Hannah Streltsova. Unfortunately, we missed seeing her at this event. She took a crash in practice. She was scheduled to come down. We were excited to see her. But now the world men's overall record could be right here too.
There you go. We move up to 4 of the 8. We're slowly going to take them all, Kyle.
Well, it's got to go through. Obviously, it's pending IWSF approval. That's a big process. Hey, he's going to take another jump, guys. He's not done. Let's see what he can do on third and final.
I mean, that's the thing with overall records is, you know, the stars don't align all that often. Joel seems to have rewritten the rules on it, but...
What's he doing here? He's
like
doing a single. He's going to try and break the single world record. Yeah, I've seen him do this before. He comes in, he's over the moon, he's ecstatic, and sometimes it's just smart to say, you know what, it's been a good day. Let's see how far I can do it on this single here. And probably around 50 meters right there. Guys, give this guy a round of applause as he comes back to the dock. Joel Poland, a pending world overall record. We got 2 skiers remaining. They got to be a little nervous standing on the dock there, Curtis.
I mean, I don't know that you're nervous at this point because you're not going to beat that. It's not mathematically, they'd need to jump 80 meters to this point, so it's not going to happen. But so what it shows you is the distance that is out there, right? Like if you're someone like...
The potential, yeah.
You know, Louis never jumped 230 before, but he's been knocking on the door.
He has, yeah.
Dorian's done it, but not for a while now. Like they've got to be feeling like conditions are set for a big jump. So I think that's going to lend them to push and find those big scores. The other thing at play is there's 7 overall points separating Louis and Dorian after slalom and tricks.
Well,
I mean, how many times this year have these two been neck and neck, intertwined, inseparable, and they're fighting for those tour points. Louis has finished runner-up the first 2 stops. He wants to keep that over Dorian, and Dorian will have something to say about that.
Yeah, Louis had Dorian's number the last couple of tournaments, but right now it's coming down to a jump contest. There's nothing in it. There's in slalom and tricks. So it's basically who can jump furthest. And they're both jumping exceptionally well. Dorian fresh off a bronze at the World Championships. Louis has been posting massive jumps in high 220s all over the place. This is going to, hey, Joel's might have taken the event, but this is still getting exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, what more could you ask for? We had huge scores across the women, the men. We've just had a pending world overall record set by Joel Poland, keeping that streak alive. And now we've got basically a straight jump off between Louis and Dorian for that runner-up position and those crucial tour points, prize money too. And they'll be feeling pumped up. Like, they know they can't take the win here, but when you see a competitor go out and jump like that, I mean, it's got to give you some confidence.
Oh, for sure. The distances are out there. Joel showed it's 2:30 is possible. I tell you what, they're not competing against themselves. They want the longest jump of the day too. They want to surpass what Joel did as well. Not just beat each other. They want to surpass what Joel did, just for a little bragging rights at the party afterwards.
Always important. And yeah, Dorian, I think, really impressed at the World Championships with his jump form. It's been kind of building for a while. You've seen glimpses, but he really strung it together, and he pushed up 229, I think, was his biggest jump from that tournament. He's looking to push up over 230 again. It's been a long time between drinks for a 230 jump for Dorian.
Big match player, Dorian Llewellyn, though, isn't he? When it's time to get tough, he will do it. He did it at the Worlds. He's done it at the Worlds in tricks before. He's done it at the Worlds in jump and overall just of late.
Here he comes, Dorian Llewellyn, jump number 1. Chasing a big jump here at Ski Fluid. He's got plenty of speed. He comes off it well. That's a beautiful opening jump from Dorian Llewellyn. We're in for a jump fest here.
What are we thinking? It's right up around 220, maybe just a tad shy on jump number 1. High 2 teens.
Just seems to never come down. He floats out there.
When he gets on top of one, yeah, he's a light guy. He's got beautiful ramp work, beautiful air form, and just kind of floats one down the lake. 217 on jump number 1 for Dorian Llewellyn. That's a handy first jump. You can see he's got room to improve too. Taking a look at the setup, the conditions. He knows it's good. Micro adjustments down there on the 6 for this next jump.
Yeah, and I think it's great if you can go out and open with a really strong jump like that. I mean, I think his biggest yesterday was about 215, so he's already exceeded that from the preliminary round, and he's got, you know, a platform to build from.
All right, let's see what Dorian Llewellyn, he's going to spin around down the bottom end, comes back in. As you can see right in front of your screen, there's the setup buoys, the 7, the 6, the 5, giving the skier the guidance of when to structure their cut, when to leave it, and they will push it as late as possible on those buoys. They want to be carrying a lot of speed wide on the boat as they approach their turn. And there he is, Dorian Llewellyn, dropping the speed now, waiting, and off he goes, doubling the speed of the boat, powering in. It's another huge one. What do we think?
It's so good. It's all so good. I mean, I don't know that anyone has better air form in the business than Dorian Llewellyn. He just seems to float out there. I wonder if the speed isn't quite there for the big jump. It looks like score coming through 219 feet, so he's got some work to do, and we're going to check in with, I'm sure, a very happy and victorious Joel Poland.
Joel Poland, another pending world record. How does it feel?
Yeah, I'm stoked with that. After yesterday, I mean, that's what I wanted to do yesterday, and I was nowhere close. So today I came in with like no expectation. Let's just see what happens and try and survive. And that's normally how it goes. So yeah, just over the moon to make that happen today.
To put that together in a professional tournament round, I can't even imagine as a single event doing that, you know, with all the pressure on. To do that level when there's an overall tournament going on, there's money on the line, there's tour on the line, there's points, there's everything. How hard is that?
Yeah, it's a challenge to be at that level and try and stay even in every event. You know, we have moments where jump's good and slalom's good and trick's good. Trying to juggle it is always difficult. But yeah, I'm finding that way. I feel like I flipped the switch a bit today, but yeah, trying to find that balance is hard.
I can imagine that switch is a very scary switch for your competitors and insane skiing. Let's go see what Dorian can put down in his last jump, but huge congrats, man.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back on with Dorian Llewellyn's third and final jump, chasing that big score to put a cherry on top of his tournament. It's another good jump. He floats down the lake. He almost seemed to have more speed than he knew what to do with there, Kyle.
No, he's pushing hard on jump number 3 and really trying to milk as much off the top of the ramp. I don't know if you saw his right ski just kind of flutter there as he came off the top and had to check himself. That right tip was dropping a touch, and never a fun feeling. but he's putting it all on the line to go as far as he can. He knows he needed a big one to try and get ahead of a Louis Duplon. Joel's uncatchable, but he wants second.
Yeah, and that's right. Because they were effectively tied out of slalom and tricks, Louis needs to out-jump Dorian by a foot. It's basically as simple as that.
220 feet. It's a big jump.
220 feet, 67 meters. That is what Louis needs to move up into second place, runner-up. And if he does that, he will have, I think, secured himself second place on the overall tour. They'd have to check the math on that, but so far they've finished second and third, respectively, at each of the events. So I think with a third silver, even if Dorian were to win the final stop, I think just by light of the backup scores, Louis would probably have him.
Yep, for sure. Louis has been so consistent at all these major overall events, the Worlds, all the tours, and chipping away at Joel's lead. And yeah, he's got ahead of him at the Worlds, obviously in 2023. Unable to do it so far on the tour, but he's doing the homework. He's catching.
So one of the, I think I'm right about this, but one of, I think, the craziest water ski stats is that if you think of like the 3 most exclusive clubs across slalom, trick, and jump, we think people that can run 41 off, people that can jump 230 feet, 70 meters, people trick 12,000. There's only 2 people that have joined 2 of those clubs. So that's Joel Poland and Jimmy Seamers, who's both jumped 70 and trick 12. Joel Poland, of course, has joined all 3. But Louis, if he jumps 70 meters, he'll go into Jimmy Seamers' territory.
Gotcha,
and,
yeah.
Dorian, I think his personal best is like 20 points shy of 5,000. So he's knocking on that door as well. But so there's a, I mean, it's a pretty cool club to be a part of. Louis, one of the best overall skiers we've ever seen.
Such an exclusive club just as a specialist.
As a specialist to be in.
To be able to do it in 2 events and still have, it's really strong third event scores is absolutely crazy. The amount of work, the dedication to get to this level in the overall event and to be on this sort of stage and performing like this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so he's been in all kinds of jump form, Louis. We've seen him push up 228, 229 feet. He's yet to jump 230. First job, he needs a 220, a 67-meter jump to get ahead of Dorian Llewellyn into second. And then let's see if we can't see him push on up around personal best territory as he comes in. Jump number 1.
All right, the strong, big Frenchman takes a hard rip at jump number 1, decides too much. So a little pressure comes on his shoulders after pass number 1. It only takes 1 jump out of your 3, but it does put pressure on jumps 2 and 3.
Okay, and while we load up for jump number 2, we will check in with Dorian dockside.
All right, here with Dorian. Putting it on the line though in jump, I like to see you cutting, I like to see you driving. How did it feel out there? Any kind of emotions left ready for Jacks, or what are we feeling?
Yeah, no, I feel pretty good. I know that, Louis and I are tight for second, and I want to keep, the tour hopes alive for the last event of the season. Just keep myself as high up on the tour standings as possible. And that second jump, I slipped at 219. And in a way, I'm so mad about it, but in a way, it's great because, in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've kind of been a little bit hit or miss, like trying to find that gear that I used to have. And if I can slip a 219, for me, that jump was, high 220s and rivaling Joel's 230 all day long. So I don't know. I mean, a 10.8 and a 3 at 39 and a 219, it's not really what you want. But, I have 2 weeks to now change this narrative of, 10, 11 wins in a row. And I think, I don't know if everybody else is tired of it, but I definitely want to end this streak. So, yeah, 2 weeks, and then I got to figure some stuff out.
I like it. Moving to your home site as well, that's got to be pretty exciting to see. I've seen you put some huge jumps together and some huge scores in all 3 events, so I'm pumped to see it. I know we all are at home as well, so let's go see what Louis can do, and let's see if you can keep that second place or if Louis is going to hold that spot.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. We've got Louis coming back in for jump number 2. As Dorian mentioned, 2 weeks to go back to the drawing board. We'll, of course, have the tour finals at Jack Travers Sunset Lakes, October 26th. But right now, Louis, he's got a podium to climb.
Yeah, 2 jumps remaining. He hasn't got a score on the board from jump number 1. Another late cut. He's come off that one well. Is it enough? I don't think he got a lot out of that one. He sort of dropped out of the sky. It's going to be close. We know he needs 220, and I think that's going to fall a little short.
Yeah, I don't think had his timing quite right. He sort of maybe didn't have a ton of speed, didn't cut all that hard onto the ramp, and then didn't get very good lift out of it because of that. So a sort of a disappointing 200-foot effort there for Louis.
Well, it's just marginal differences, right, between that and a 220-foot jump. A little bit later, he hit the ramp a little hard, a little stiff-legged maybe, didn't really go up as well as he normally does. But a ton of pressure on jump number 3. He has not done it yet, and Dorian, maybe an average day on the water in all 3 events, you know, a 2:19, 3 at 39, almost 11,000 points. Not great by his standards, but so far it's enough to hold off that second spot.
Yeah, it's crazy that that's an average day
Yeah.
on the water, right? I mean, you think about go back 10, 15 years, that would be phenomenal.
Well, it would have been the world record probably.
Right, I
Yep.
mean, but that just shows how high the level of skiing is coming. And Joel Poland just setting a world record with 1.5:41, 230 feet in jump, and over 12,000 points in tricks. But right now, the equation is pretty simple. Louis Dupont-Fribourg needs 220 feet, 67 meters, if he wants to move up from 3rd into 2nd here at the WorldWaterSkiers Fluid Cup.
3 days of competition, guys. Last jump on the water. It's Louis Dupont, all to play for.
I mean, it's the best jump of the set.
It's he's not celebrating. These skiers usually know when they've uncorked a big one. I don't know. I'm not going to guess it.
And it's not far enough. So Louis will finish in bronze. Dorian Llewellyn will take the runner-up position. That jump 209 feet. And your champion, of course, with the new pending world overall record, none other than Joel Poland. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope to see you again in 2 weeks at the Travers Cup, the Tour Finals. That is going to be a blockbuster. We had 3 world overall records set at that tournament last year. And I think with the form some of these skiers are building into, we could see something similar in 2025. We will have the prize giving in a few minutes. We hope you stick around for that, some celebrations. I think we're going to have a bit of a wine and cheese hour coming up at the conclusion, but it's been a pleasure to join you all. And Kyle, thanks for having us here at the beautiful Ski Fluid.
No, I enjoyed it. Curtis, thanks for coming. Thanks for WorldWaterSkiers. Jarrett Llewellyn to keep pushing his dream forward and getting these overall skiers the coverage and the stage to perform like we saw today. It's been a magnificent weekend. Thanks to all the officials, the sponsors that have got behind this event.
So a good time to find a refreshment, and we will be underway with the prize giving in just a few minutes. You see the scores up there on the board. Joel Poland, commanding victory, 3,000 points, the perfect score, and a pending world overall record. I think we'll run some commercials, and we'll be back underway with the prize giving in just a few minutes. Yeah, and of course, before we cut to commercial, just an update on the tour rankings. Joel Poland, 3 victories. He has taken the season title, but heading into Travers, just 10 points separating Louis and Dorian. So there's going to be a good hard charge, I think, for who takes home that 2nd and 3rd position in the tour standings. So plenty to play for still at the Travers Cup. And thank you all for joining us once again. Down on the dock, we have Louis Dupont-Fribourg, who just couldn't quite pull everything together and jump today.
All right, Louis, I know you wanted a little bit more than that. What does that feel like? The wind changed on you a little bit there and just was a messy final set. What are the emotions right now?
I felt I gave everything. Man, like the first jump, like it was a big tailwind. I was not expecting that. Second one, even more. And I was like, I got no thing in the air. Like I know it's a good jump, but like I have no fly in the air. And the last one, I was okay, I adapt. Headwind. I was like, man, how? Yeah, it's like that. I felt like I gave everything. Maybe I could have adapted a bit better on the second one. I don't know. Yeah, I'm happy. At the same time, I'm like, dang it. Why?
Yeah, and it's tricky, but I mean, that's 3 podiums in a row for this season. You can never be too mad at that. And probably unfortunately for you, but fortunately for us at home, there's going to be a little bit of a battle between you and Dorian going into the final event at Jackson, seeing who can kind of grab that second place on the tour leaderboard. What's the plan for the next couple of weeks?
I'm going to train, and congrats to Joel for the world record. It's impressive. And yeah, congrats to Dorian. And yeah, I can't wait to train again for the next one.
I know for me, both your home sites, you would kind of call them that. I'm very excited to see what you guys can put down. More world records from you and Dorian, maybe. I'm excited to see and get training.
I hope so, yeah. All right, we're good to do it. Oh, yeah.
What a pleasure to be here on the beach with Pierre Plouffe, the legend here at Tremblant. Pierre, good to see you.
Hi, Alain.
Tell me about your business. It's been here for a while.
We've been here for just about 25 years. We have activities for all tastes, all prices. Yes, we're waiting for you guys.
Thanks.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure million-dollar mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dellinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
For over 20 years, Houston has been setting the standard of automotive excellence. Hi, I'm Dave Houston. I'd like to welcome you to the Houston family. We are committed to offering exceptional Cadillac models like the all-new electric Lyriq, redesigned XT4, and the legendary Escalade. At Houston, our personalized service and friendly staff will exceed your expectations. Feel the thrill of buying a new Cadillac from Houston Cadillac.
What a pleasure to be here on the beach with Pierre Plouffe, the legend here at Tremblant. Pierre, good to see you.
Hi, Alain.
Tell me about your business. It's been here for a while.
We've been here for just about 25 years. We have activities for all tastes, all prices, and I can show you right now in the water. Let's go.
Yeah, this has to be the perfect spot for all water sports.
Well, we're trying to have all sort of activities on the water, starting with the non-motorized pedal boat, canoes and kayaks, and the very popular lately, the paddle board.
Yes.
We also have the sailing. We have some sailing. We have some sailing boats. We have the day camp for kids. We have fishing boats, runabout, and very popular pontoons, which you can go in the water with families and friends. We have a day camp for kids, which includes water skiing in the morning, surfing and wakeboarding, and some fun boards behind the pontoon at lunchtime. We also have a floating mountain, which we call the iceberg. Actually, it's so popular that we had to buy a smaller one for little kids that wanted to go up on one side and slide on the other side.
And the lake is always perfect for water skiing early in the morning, as I know you're the world champion, you train here.
Yeah, I train every day here, and it's fun to have people training with me in the morning. Some adults training every day, and some kids also are training now.
Well, the perfect spot. We invite everybody to come and check it out.
Yes, we're waiting for you guys.
Thanks.
2, 1, your go.
Well, hello everyone, welcome. I hope you enjoyed what was a fantastic afternoon of water skiing, some of the best you'll ever witness. And we're going to get right into the awards here, and I'd like to bring up one of our supporters, one of our sponsors, Richard Luffy, as a representative of Postcard Girls. If you'd like to come up and present the awards to the woman. Okay, and in fourth place in the woman, probably didn't have her best of tournaments, but I am very excited to see how she continues to improve in coming years, because I think she could be a force to be reckoned with. But in fourth place out of Malaysia, it was Alia Jung Hanifa.
Yep.
And boy, was it a very tight battle for the top of the podium. I think in jump distance there was only about 4 feet separating first through third in terms of combined overall, but finishing only narrowly in third place in her comeback season with plenty to work on for the finals is Giannina Bonneman-Meckler. In second place, proving that training is optional, not mandatory, with an incredible performance for someone who didn't actually plan to enter the event but came out with great scores across all 3 events. It's an absolute legend of the sport. Congratulations to Regina Jacquis. And your champion, with a great day of skiing, really won that event with some superb tricking, you'd have to say. It's a big congratulations, her second victory on tour so far, and I think that means she will take home the season championship as well, to Kennedy Hansen.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Should I do it before or after they spray the champagne?
Before.
Okay, and I'm sure she'll love this, but before we give each other a champagne shower, we'd like to hear a few words from your champion. Congratulations. Great skiing today, Kenna.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that makes these events possible. It's a great time competing with everyone, and thanks for the ladies always pushing us to be better. So thank you guys so much, and excited for the last event of the season at Jack's.
Thank you very much.
Come on over here,
Great work there. And on the men's side, I mean, so many incredible skiers that didn't even make it through to the finals. It was one of the tightest cuts we've seen ever on the tour. And in the end, we could only take 5 through the finals. And in 5th place, boy, did he have a great tournament. I mean, skied out of his skin just to even make it through the finals. Personal bests in slalom in both rounds. It's a huge congratulations to Austria's Alex Geschiel. In 4th place out of Argentina, and I got to tell you, quickly becoming one of my favorite skiers to watch. He's an entertainment machine out there. He makes me even enjoy slalom skiing. That's how good he is at it. Great to see him on tour. We'd love to see more of him. He's such a talented skier, but a big congratulations to Tobias Georgis. And I apologize, I forgot to introduce him. He's going to be giving out the medals to top 3, but Can we get a round of applause for Ed Fletcher from Dreammakers, our presenting sponsor? Incredible. Events like these don't happen without this support. Well, it's becoming a recurring theme in 2025. It seems like every weekend we go to an event, there are two names that you cannot separate on the score sheet. They're like almost tied, joined at the hip. This time, it was Louis Duplon-Fribourg who came out second best, but it's been flip-flopping back and forth every weekend. But in third place out of France, it's Louis Duplon-Fribourg. Runner-up. For the first time this year on tour, he's had a couple of bronzes. He'll be happy that he was able to move up the standings, but I know he'll want more. It is, of course, your reigning world overall champion, Dorian Llewellyn. Where do you even begin to talk about this next guy? An incredible 11th consecutive win on tour. That's almost now 3 complete seasons. He hasn't lost an event on tour since 2022. Not only does he win, but in the process, he sets a new pending world overall record. I know, I'm excited too. It's hard to hold it in. Let's give a big round of applause to your champion, Joel Poland.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Thank you very much. No, I give it another go.
Before we have to put our tapas on for the splash zone, Joel, I mean, you just find a way every weekend to pull out huge scores, but this is the best yet. Incredible skiing today. How'd it feel?
Yeah, well, unreal day really. It's nice when everything comes together, especially when we're at Fluid. It's kind of hard not to ski well here when everything goes right. So of course, you know, massive thank you to Carl and everyone here in the Fluid team. And yeah, just overall stoked to be here, stoked to be a part of this tour. Of course, thank you to our main sponsors, Postcard Girls and Dreammakers. You know, couldn't be here without you guys, and we really appreciate everything you do to support us. And of course, all you lovely people coming out today as well. It's great to have a nice crowd. So yeah. Let's go have some fun tonight, huh?
Congratulations once again to your winners. Before we wrap up, we have one last award we want to give out. You know, the scores at the site, every time we come here, every event, are insane. I mean, potentially, if this goes through, 4 out of the 8 world records will be held at the site. And, you know, we talked about it on the mic earlier. I know it takes a village, and it's a huge credit to all of the officials. We've only got one trophy to give, but we'd like to present it to Kyle, and if Karen Eads around, we'll drag her up too. No, she's chatting. Kyle Lee, let's give a round of applause to Kyle Lee. What a great job Fluid does at running these events.
I say a couple things.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll hand it over to Kyle to say a few words. It's just the webcast that can hear you, but
Yeah, hey, thanks very much everyone for coming out and supporting this tour. Congrats to the competitors, obviously, especially Joel, breaking another world record here. It's unreal. He keeps doing it. A ton of world records here at the site, and it's all thanks to the team that I've got here, the officials that come out and support us. Jack does so much all weekend. He's been awesome. Debbie Kern is the scorer. All our drivers, Scott, Greg, Martin, Becky. Social director, Jim Clooney. And then, of course, we've got to thank Jarrett and Britta, Llewellyn, and the WorldWaterSkiers team. I've been here all week getting ready, and these guys have been up earlier than me, out here setting this place up and doing it for these guys and for you guys, and trying to make sure that overall skiing is alive and well, and obviously it is with the results we saw today. So thank you very much, guys. This is going awesome. Keep it going. And guys, we look forward to seeing you guys at the next event.
Thank you.
thanks everyone. Yeah, we'll see everyone October 26th for the tour finals. Cannot wait. It's going to be a blockbuster. Thank you. Goodbye.